legends of APAC South in the ALGS.
Such a good spot here. Provides any much coverage for Popcorn. Bradley kicks down and out already. Bristle strikes in.
About to go down. 1v1, 1v1.
Oh, what? Oh, Shady. He finds the target.
Hey, that's going to be a punishing blow.
Tree is covered. Fly high to Senpai. The wraparound is perfect.
What? No! Lotka overextends, so does Kashira!
Does get spotted out. The pins go down.
Oh my god! It's the 360! What a beast!
And hello and welcome everyone to the Split 2 Pro League, where we will be covering all the Apex Legends action here in Apex South. My name is Lace and we're here to bring you the highlight and passion that our region has to offer. Now, to introduce the casters who bring the game alive, we've got the ever so exuberant Dax and the knowledgeable king of the casters, Gino. Dax, such a goddamn pleasure to have you here back once again. Are you ready to see what our pros have installed for us today?
I have been waiting for this moment, Lace. I am so excited that we are back for Split 2. Split 1's already incredible, and I know there are a bunch of teams here who want a bit of that comeback punch after the playoffs that happened in LA.
Exactly. And you know what? It's such a pleasure to have you here, as well. You've already covered so much in our region, following through the Split 1, going over to LA and following them there. Do you think our fresh meat has what it takes?
That's certainly a way to put it, isn't it? Look, it's fun, right, having fresh meat at LAN, and I'm interested to see how those teams who got their first taste of it overseas, like Wonton Dumpling, didn't do so well at LAN. But now that they come back, they take that experience, they take those learnings back into APAC South. Can they dominate again? Can they dominate even more after playing?
Yeah, we had such a thrilling start to, our Split 1s. And like you said, we had the likes of Wonton Dumpling, Weibo now. They've had a wonderful name change. Also, we can't forget about Legends Gaming and how these two teams, dominated through our region, Dax. Do you have any special highlights you can take us through from, our excellent Split 1?
I mean, honestly, it was a fun story for me watching out for Split 1. You guys were there in LA, Gino was casting. I was lining up for immigration, actually the same place in the US, and I was just watching some of these games. Memorable moment in line for immigration, Legends Gaming, keeping the game alive, finding Dark Zero there, and I was freaking out. It's like, the line was already there. I needed to get my interview done, but I was like, there's still one more game because of Legends, and then, of course, with Reject winning it all, super, super hype finals that was.
Yeah, and Gino, you followed them over there too. You got to see them sitting in the stands, got to see casting them and watching them go hand to hand. And like you said, they're coming back into our region now, and they were our top contenders. Do you think, we're going to see some sort of excellent performance? You were touching on saying that, they're going to bring this experience back to us. Do you feel like they can do it again?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen a persistent buff from the teams who have had that LAN experience, right? If you think about MDY White, who had been picked up by an org recently, we'll get to that later. But I think after they came back from their first LAN, they've been a much, much improved team. So I do expect to see that from our other teams like Wonton Dumpling, getting that taste of LAN experience.
Yeah, and as our pro teams lock it in, guys, I know they're itching to get ready. How about we take you through how all of this is going to work? Let's take a look at Split 2 format video.
Let's jump straight into Split 2 of the Year 4 Pro League. Here's a quick reminder about our format. Each region is made up of 30 teams. 8 of those teams battled through the preseason qualifiers, and 22 earned it through established winning form, invites from EA, or by being the best of the rest. Those 30 teams will be split into 3 groups of 10 teams and play a triple round robin with each group playing the others 3 times. At the end of the regular season, the top 20 teams in each region will play a match point regional final, where a number of the top teams of each region will then advance to the Split 2 playoffs. Looking forward to the second split, we're going to find out if the teams that topped their regions have what it takes to make another deep run.
And here we go. We have our schedule. We are back here for Split 2. We're ever so excited. We are here at day number 1, starting a little bit earlier than we usually do, Genome. So, it's nice to be able to bring you the action early on. But we are going to have our day 1 competitors go hand-to-hand. And, all the way, I guess, we got another day tomorrow, Genome, actually. We've got so much action happening this whole weekend.
Exactly. It's like a bit of a super weekend to start off with. Of course, the first day, we only play the 1 series, so it's a bit of a shorter day today. We'll just ease you into it, and then tomorrow, bang, we've got the full 2 series to play, and that'll be our first out of the 3 round robins already finished.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, what are all these teams got to be playing for? And it's not just, a ticket through to land, but we've got some dollar signs on the horizon too, Dax. We've seen this prize pool before, $125,000 spread out through all these teams. But, even teams 21st and 30th walk away with some money.
I mean, yeah, it's just like Split 1, right? We have more money now, given a little bit of an upgrade to APAC-S out. But unfortunately, guys, I've heard a little bit of news that we only have 7 slots up for grabs now rather than 8. So really trying to make it that 5K threshold. Still good money, sure, but it's still all about land for these teams.
Yeah, unfortunately, we did lose 1 spot there, but, this just makes it even more juicier for these teams to battle even harder to get those top 7 spots, Gino.
Yeah, it's definitely a little tough after our performance there at Split 1. Definitely one of the weaker ones we've seen from APAC South. Of course, it's tough, when you're, constantly losing your best teams to the NA region. And of course, we still love all the Australian players and stuff that are absolutely killing it. 2nd and 4th, of course, for Dark Zero and for Moist. But yeah, definitely some decent performances. Legends Gaming still definitely showing up and doing quite well, and hopefully, like we talked about before, teams like Wonton Dumpling, who, hopefully have shaken their nerves off after their first performance, and make it again, and have a better showing of what they're really made of next time.
Yeah, and when they show us what they're made of, we can have a look at and seeing how all the scoring works. Now, this is going to be, the traditional ALGS scoring. We've seen it before, 12 points for first. We've got 9 points for second, so on and so forth. Dax, we've got the 1 additional point per kill. We saw the likes of Weibo, which is, Wonton Dumpling, really utilize those kill points as they steamroll the lobby. But, we also want to touch on series points as well, Dax.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it already, right? 12 points for first place in placements, kill points, you get 1, but it's really about how you do at the end of the day in each of these states, because that's like 25, right? If you're at the very top of that scoreboard for today, and then it's the same thing for the next few sets. You're going to be going through these group stages around 3 times before we get to the finals, and to make it to that top cut, when you have enough of those points near the end of the season, then you're good to go. Even if you don't win the finals, it's still enough for you to make it to LAN.
Yeah, and so we have 6 sets of 6 matches, you get those rewarded series points at the end, and, that's what kind of matters. So today we'll be sort of having a look at these points and scoring and, seeing which teams can kind of go toe-to-toe. But let's have a look and see what our teams will be competing in Split 2, as we'll have, about 30 teams seeded into 3 groups of 10, A, B, and C. Gino, our first 2 columns will be the teams that we'll see competing today.
Absolutely, that is groups A and B, and as we look through these 30 teams here, Lace, you'll see some familiar faces. You'll see some teams with a bit of a facelift, those who have been picked up by organizations. Fantastic to see people like Tom Young Kung being picked up by Makers. You've got MDY White getting picked up by LGD Gaming. And, it was not long after we saw the end of the first split, that you had teams like, Divine or Team Burger getting picked up by Virtus Pro, right? So lots of teams there, that we've got to pick apart. And then you've got, of course, those teams who are joining us from the Pro League qualifiers as well. Ones like Fruit Salad and Barbecue. Joining the ranks now of those elite Pro League teams.
Yeah, and we had some major changes for Season 20 for our pro teams. So all these poor souls, they came in with a character meta and the release of Legends perks. And now we have amped it up even more with a massive change. And, we have ourselves the new POI draft system. Now, who better to explain, I guess, this POI draft system than our wonderful Rain Day to give you an insight into what our pros will be facing coming into these matches.
Hey Legends, today I'm here to explain the new ALGS POI draft system. This format change aims to even the playing field while challenging teams to adapt to different POIs and different playstyles. How, you might ask? Well, this is how it works. Prior to the Pro League regular season, each team receives a random assortment of draft picks for match days 1 through 9. The assortment is perfectly equal, meaning if a team receives the first draft pick, they'll also receive the 40th draft pick on that match day. This draft style is called a snake draft, and the order of draft picks changes with each match day, which means that teams may not always get their preferred POI. On draft day, each team will make 2 draft picks, 1 Storm Point drop spot and 1 World's Edge drop spot. Strategizing is crucial, as drop spots on both maps are up for grabs at the same time. There will always be more drop spots than teams, which means that even if you're the last pick, you'll have multiple options to choose from. Once a POI is chosen, it's off limits to all other teams for that match series. On match day, each team is dropped from an individual dropship above their drop spot. It is a whole new ALGS. Well, I hope that explanation clears things up on how the POI draft system is going to work in the ALGS. If you want more detailed breakdown, check out our latest blog post and follow Play Apex Esports on X to stay up to date with all things ALGS.
That's insane. This format, I guess, changes the playing field and challenges our teams to, I guess, adapt to different POIs and play styles, Gino.
It's a massive change for so many reasons, right? I mean, contests almost a thing of the past now. Sometimes you can get a little bit of some skirmishes at some very limited POIs like Siphon, Climatizer. There's only a few options where it's even possible for that to happen. But you're certainly not landing directly on top of each other. You actually have to go towards each other and meet. And as we look at this first video that will show us how the teams drafted on World's Edge, which will be our first map today, you can see this is the order in which they drafted, right? And you can see the numbers here that represents from 1 to 40 where those picks were. So HKUF, they took Skyhook West immediately, right? They had the number 1 pick. Amazing. It means obviously their pick for Storm Point is going to be nowhere near as good. But if you look around, you can see, very interesting things happen that we never would have seen before. Legends Gaming, one of the strongest teams in the region, are going to be landing Geyser today. I mean, that's just unheard of, but it's going to be fascinating, Dax, because we get to see how these IGLs can play from POIs that they've never had to deal with before.
It's all about adaptability, and especially the fact that if you have over a 20 hashtag like on the screen, right? If your number itself is on the late 20s, over the 30s, it just means that you prioritize your store point pick itself. So speaking of Legends Gaming, they're stuck on Geyser. You see Weibo Gaming, which is Wonton Dumpling. They're nowhere near their old school Thermon station. They're the ones picking up Siphon East there. And there's always a chance for one of these teams to contest that, right? There are some POIs, like you mentioned, Siphon being one of them, that you can share, that you can declare that you want to contest, but it's not really happening right now. The most we see is No Credit and HKUF sharing Skyhook, which is pretty much par for the norm. Dreamfire still around there, also by the tree. So many shifts right now, and the most interesting part about this is every single week, every single session, we're gonna see changes for POIs.
Yeah, and just one more thing I will point out there is Mirage Etoile is now, that's MXF for going there, right? That's a POI in its own right, because it's no longer spread between either staging or lava fissure. Those teams cannot claim it. I mean, if no one goes there, you probably will see someone head over there in the end. But when a full team's landing there, you don't really have that option.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting, you were saying about how teams are sort of picking, their stronger maps. We always talk about that when we move from World's Edge to Storm Point. We see teams sort of bring it together. A couple of teams, I've touched on Boogie Borders, don't seem to start out so strong on World's Edge, but can really utilize Storm Point. So, teams like that will definitely pick Storm Point, take that, I guess, before anything else. So that's, I guess, Dax, that's where we see those sort of, the 20th team sort of choose that. But yeah, very interesting, Legends Gaming on Geyser. Like, such a strong team picking probably what I would say one of the worst POIs.
They used their first draft actually for World's Edge. I was watching the numbers. I was looking at this like everyone's really prioritizing the first map right now since we see World's Edge first. And as I said a while ago, Legends Gaming, they're just forced to go there by this point since their usual POIs, some of their favorite spots, they're just taken by other teams and you can't even contest it.
Yep, and let's get everything started. They've got big changes. We've had massive changes to Apex. Let's take it away for game number 1 of World's Edge.
I missed the dropship already here, Gino. We are straight onto the ground, man. There is no dropship. Exactly. They are free to go where they chose, and the draft already looking exciting. But this is Split 2. This is APAC South, and we are kicking things off on World's Edge.
And for once, Dax, look, not a lot of action happening at the start, and we've got to get used to that. The viewers have to get used to that because that is going to be par for the course for the foreseeable future of Apex Legends Esport. What a big change to Apex Comp.
I mean, say hello to downtime. We're going to be talking about, of course, the roster swaps that have happened between the splits. Later on, we're going to be checking out who needs to get where quickly. And speaking of, you can already see the ring pulling on in. Landslide, Lava Fisher, Boogie Borders, Fruit Salad, teams that did pick around the countdown area. They're going to be pretty happy once they get that information.
I mean, the ring pulls lately, there's definitely been a bit of discussion about, how evenly they're pulling. You can go off and, always check out Apex Legends status has been keeping a bit of a compendium of those rings, so you can have a look and make that, decision for yourself. But certainly we have been seeing a few that will go up here towards Lava Fisher, towards Countdown, and that's very much where it seems to be pulling. So as you said, a couple of teams very much happy about that. Kill Devil, not so much.
Yeah, Kill Devil very far off. I do just want to note this real quick. Ring Console is in Countdown too, so a team like Fruit Salad that did drop there, they will have that information. But Kill Devil is a team that did get a bit of a change that we saw in the Challenger Circuit there, Gino. Bolin, an incredible player with such good history in ALGS already, swapping the controller and joining that squad. And speaking of Fruit Salad now, they get contact here on Countdown as LGD, formerly MDY White, will see them on the other side.
It's an interesting swap, Dax. I mean, we've seen some other players try it and honestly struggle for quite some time. Of course, Killerpos is the one that always comes to mind in APAC South when I'm thinking about goated M&K players who have decided that they're better off on the sticks. And not everyone agrees with them necessarily.
I don't know. For me, APAC South has always been a bit of an M&K region, right? Especially in the past year, personally. But on the other hand, I know there are a lot of controller players as well that we have seen. Come on, like the Wonton Dumpling guys or Weibo now, some incredible control players. The Australian scene, a lot of incredible control players too. It's been a bit of a mix here in this region, don't you think?
Yeah, it has. No, you're right. I think usually either us or APAC North, I think, have been, the highest M&K percentage regions. Very different to, say North America, where it's almost 50-50, I think, actually, between them. But APAC South sitting closer to 60 or 70%, I believe, in terms of that split, favoring the M&K.
Who have been a beast on the M&K itself. Of course, it is Easy Flash. He has been missed. He didn't make it to LAN, unfortunately. Couldn't make it to LA.
Yeah.
But now he's back here into the region, and we know how great Legends Gaming did without him already. Who knows how far they can go now. Maybe even taking off with a championship, perhaps, in this split later on.
A little bit of a tense standoff there between Legends Gaming and Weibo Gaming. Obviously, two of the very, very strong teams of this region. And they're fighting over some of these objectives, right? There we go, picking up the brick. That's a big pickup. The Prowler as well, something that's it's interesting. Like, you can see the choice here. Like, do I take almost a naked Havoc, or do I take a gold Prowler? I mean, that tells you a little bit of something about how good that energy weapon is at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah, rifles have been king recently. You have the Havocs, of course. You have the Hemlock also being such a precise pickup. And we're still keeping an eye out here on Boogie Borders. They're just happy to stay where they really landed. They've been very familiar with the Lava Fisher side, but it's getting pretty crowded so far as these teams are getting the Rain Console knowledge. You have Boogie Borders on one side, and I believe you have Serenity, one of the standouts on the other, outside also, near the inside too, and they're looking to make a mark here.
Yeah, they're sending across some Serenity and Boogie Borders. Definitely people split at the moment, you know, maybe half the team sort of finding a home in Countdown, half doing it over in Lava Fissure. You know, a couple of teams still coming in from Mirage Trois, Skyhook, all that sort of good stuff. Of course, we are seeing this shift as the year goes on in year 4 of the ALGS DAX towards more of an edge play style, and the introduction of the new Evo system of Evo Harvesters, Evo Caches, has really shifted the play style a little bit and made the hard rotate style not nearly as powerful as it once was.
And teams like, I always want to say Wanton, but it's Weibo now, as well as Makers, formerly Tommy and Kong. Those are teams that are just so notable to barrel down in later into those rings and have that red armor. But everyone is watching out for this team now, Genome, and it is Dreamfire. Gone is the old roster. Now we have No Name in, and if you've been watching some of the recent occurrences, the EWC especially, he has been one of the young guns that have brought a bit of fire to Dreamfire.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, you know, we've seen him here on Longshot before as well, Dax, right? He's, when he was playing for Wonton Dumpling back in the day, he was dominating. So the fact that DF have lost longtime leader Roy has been a big shift for probably the most recognizable Chinese team in the region. But if there's anyone who can fill those big shoes, I think No Name has a chance. And just to let you guys know, his tag today will be I Hate the World. We'll be calling him No Name, but yeah, synonymous.
Man has so many names, but you can see here already. I do want to notice something here, Genome. We haven't talked much about the Legend selection. Bang Blood, sure, but there's been a bit of a shift recently. Some with Watson, some with Catalyst, a little bit of Fuse action too, but WMFP, here they come onto the action already by the Mirage Wash side. They are under pressure by Numnim, who's playing inside the truck. Rolling Thunder gonna be the play. Shark got to play actually into land there with one of the Chinese invite slots as CO Killfield, the FDY also finding it back, but it's getting dangerous here for WMFB.
Yeah, as you say, a big shift, right? You can almost tell what style the teams want to play purely by their composition, right? So if they've got Watson, they are going to be opting closer towards that zone play style, that hard rotate style. And if they're picking up the Catalyst, that says they want to be a little bit more flexible. It doesn't mean you can't play zone, but it does give you some better options if you need to make those rotates. I will also note that we've got only one Caustic player in the lobby. What a change from Split 1.
Yeah, I was actually checking around anyone playing the Gas Legend there, and it's only outside, and we've seen one team eliminated so far. No credit. Actually only playing as a duo right now. So a little bit unfortunate. Hopefully we do see Savior later on into the lobby. But MXF, they've been high on this perch for quite a while in Mirage 12. But all of the other teams nearby have already left them behind. WMFB trying to rotate into Lava Fisher. Same can be said with NumNim. And speaking of, Lava Fisher again getting even more crowded now.
Definitely some teams starting to pile on in, but the ring hasn't really given us much of an indication of where it's going to end up. It's still a little bit split between the two POIs, perhaps favoring, I want to say Countdown a little bit, maybe towards the Raven, but honestly, I'm not entirely sure of that, and I think even the teams with that late beacon scan knowledge, a team like Final Dream, who, oh, okay, nope, they could have scanned at staging, but I guess they haven't. Maybe they were held out by Weibo Gaming, who have scanned that next ring. But you've got other teams like MDY Black all the way up here, and they're going to be looking for a spot. It's tough, though, when you've got Makers chucking knuckle clusters down at them out from Countdown.
Yeah, Makers especially, they have the ring console knowledge that we're talking about, and it doesn't say much still, even since it's still a bit of a 50-50 between the two POIs. And I guess I want to hear your thoughts about the fuse right now. It's something we were talking about last week in another tournament where, oh, ring console, that's a thing. Weibo, though, on the other hand, their transition being hampered a little bit, but the beauty of the cat wall is here. You got one side, aimbot, and the rest. Here we go, though, with the likes of Weibo trying to get the initiation on. He got up on top, beautiful intel immediately, and he's ready to beam one down. Seems like it's Bobo who does get the first knock going. Pete got quite low, but Weibo in control despite so far. They see exactly what's going on. The Beast of the Hunt online, and that's 2 down to the opponents. Weibo holding strong here.
Oh, Moku just trying to use the knockdown shield, but they are going to get right on top of his head there. That's a nice start to the game from Weibo, and a nice start to the split as they get some loot, some KP, and will be able to move on. Still got NumNim ahead of them before they can get into the circle, but honestly, they keep taking their 3v3s like that. I'm not too worried.
NumNim was thinking about going for the third party, but Weibo's so prepared for it anyway. They think otherwise. All the way on the other side, though, here by Skyhook, Legends Gaming going for the long rotate, and they're gonna run into Andy Y Black here instead. Beef the Hunt gonna get popped here by APAC-S. Legends Gaming looking for the push through. Easy flash, though. Good beams already. Cracknet shields over 145 damage even. Spray Fume Flame also seeing a bit of contact. And then Lan, he did so well with the shots, with the Bangalore itself. Player K setting up 2, and it's a classic Legends Gaming style. You see the frag potential, sure, but always an accurate Player K. And this house is now Legends to call.
Yeah, both of the teams. We do see MDY Black using the Fortify to try and, limit the rotational options around this fight. Their tactical options of getting in and out of the building by controlling those doors. Of course, the Bloodhound scans are very important in information as the teams start throwing grenades back and forth here. And Legends, now that they've lost Easy Flash, are going to struggle.
Overheat. Let's listen in to Legends Gaming here as they're trying to run on away. Never mind. We can't even hear anything now. Utter silence here as MDY Black, they catch the overheat. They take down Legends all the way again on the opposite end. Weibo still finding more contact here. And from afar, it's Jackie Chan cracking a bit of that shield. Satagohai looking to hold NumNim, trying to gatekeep Weibo here. 2 down for the Weibo side, but the Peacekeeper, it's doing immense damage from Jackie Chan. The chops are looking good, but Weibo cannot stand the pressure. NumNim survive for now. A sliver of HP here for Satagohai. Can he even survive any bit longer? Answer no. That's NumNim eliminated too.
Oh, well, the 3v3 mightn't have been the problem for Weibo Gaming there. It was really, they were getting third-partied by the ring, just trying to take that rotation a little bit too late. And it doesn't really work out for NumNim either, with Dreamfire on the back end of it. The circle has very much shifted under the Raven. As we gave it the 55% chance. It has happened, and that means teams like Kill Devil, who are set up there with the Watson fences in an absolutely killer spot. Teams that have to make the rotation, like War Monster Firebird here, this one's a lot tougher. They're going to be pushing all the way through Countdown. They might just have to get maybe if they can find a spot like underneath, down on the bottom level of Countdown. I think there's a chance there. Other teams who are making a big rotation, Serenity Dax. I want to hear what these guys are doing next because this is a tough swing into the next circle for them. Let's go to the listen in.
Oh, fuck me. No, we're just gonna have to go for kills.
Yeah.
They're fighting like north side.
Let's reposition there.
Yeah.
Can you come to this building?
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, they're back now.
Yes. They're evacing.
We're gonna go around through the corner here.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm batting.
I'm running.
Um,
Red blue. Coming.
Yeah, I'm smoking across and bang ulting.
Oh.
Oh, Banger's gonna hit us. Should have done that. Under, 3 shots.
They're running right. They're running right. Close under us.
Yep, okay, glow stick.
Crack them both. I'm gonna have to slide to your back.
I'm walking forward. Good one. Yeah,
Nice.
I'm on close under.
I have to go under. I have to go under.
Everything,
Yeah,
drop
above,
under.
above.
I ward. We can play forward a bit.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
safe, mate.
I'm gonna die.
I'm dying.
I'm dead to it.
Fuck.
No,
You can play
leave
like, you can play like,
Trying.
What's this rock right here? They're pushing us.
Sliding
Probably.
at us. Bang nearly cracked on you.
Oh, Serenity in absolute danger. They did get a wipe onto one squad, but right now it's Bear Claw Gaming waiting for them. Jesco again, the only survivor. There were standouts there in LAN in LA, but here in APAC South, they're the ones hurting now. Even from above, Jesco finding pressure, but for now, surviving, piercing spikes. A little shield bat too, just to go for the resets.
Bear Claw sitting next to them as they exited that circle with the reds and the purples. A little bit too much for Serenity to bear. I mean, look, Jesco currently kill leader with 3 kills. It's, you know, it's not like it's going to be a bad first game for the Australians, but very tough on that rotate coming out of Lava Fissure. So, we move on to the other squads as most of them, honestly, shoved into Countdown here. And other teams like Kill Devil, who have actually taken a knock just there, you can see, heck, gets Krabered. Will they get him back up in time? Interestingly, we've actually got Luhan taking the res perk there for Watson.
Oh, this is looking interesting too as Kill Devil push in. Bear Claw Gaming eliminated there, and this is big for Kill Devil. They had that zone for so very long. They keep an eye out at their left flank, and they knocked out one from Bear Claw so early on to give them the fight.
A good reset from Kill Devil means they maintain God's spot. Incredibly important. Being able to have those fences set up and be able to reset after that always scary Kraber shot comes in to just give them a heart attack.
It's getting so crowded right now alongside Countdown and Kill Devil. Happy to just poke and prod from afar. Dreamfire, LGD, both eliminated. We're already down to 4 squads, and it's quite a bloodbath here in the first map. Immediately though, Fruit Salad still alive. They started the game in Countdown. They're still there as a trio. Acquaintance brought back to life, but they have so little space to work with. This one corner is all they have now.
Yep. Just waiting for it. Sometimes that's what you've got to do. With 4 teams left, they have VKG right on top of them. Or right next to them. Right underneath them, I should say. But then you've got Makers and Kill Devil kind of staring at each other down, but then also staring at the teams just in this tiny little part. Ow, wow, as Biola actually goes down to the ring there.
Touch the quick little heat there. I know it's shiny, but you don't want to. Notice.
And they kind of can't revive him. They're trying to revive him, but because there's so little space...
Oh, there's no way.
Yeah, as soon as they go for the revive, it pushes them into the ring, and he lets himself die for the shield swap. Horrible situation here for Fruit Salad.
I mean, they love this BI for so long. Why not marry it right now? And this is what happens at the very end. They have to go into the ring. The damage is looking too much to handle. Plus their nades also being tossed. Castle with the knock. There's no escape for Fruit Salad. VK Gaming was waiting for them there.
Okay. Now it's up to VK Gaming. They've got just a second to hide behind this interception pylon here to try and make something happen. And then they need to get out. For Blues, that's not really going to cut it against these other two teams as they get chipped down. Even 951 in Beast of the Hunt here tries his best to put some damage down on these other two teams, but surely this can't last that long.
Kill Devil have the set of advantage, but Makers have the aim and the Reds do. Makers now looking to make their mark here as VK Gaming is eliminated, and this team picked up so very recently. Tom Young-Kung was their name before. Makers is the name now to be known, and Makers is the game winner of our first bout here in Split 2.
Oh, awesome 6-kill win from our newly picked up team.
Congratulations there to Makers. What a win here for the squad from Thailand. And at least it's immediately a good game to get things going here in APAC South.
Yeah, APAC South game number 1 locked away. You know, we're kicking off the split with the new POI draft system, Dax. You heard us talk a lot about like Weibo, which is previously Wonton Dumpling and Legends Gaming. Two of these teams getting knocked out quite early in that match, you know, but it's of course too early days to tell who could potentially give us, you know, some run for their money. But, you know, our brand new teams could be getting some confidence seeing these two heavy hitting teams just getting knocked out early there. It was awesome to see, you know, Fruit Salad did a absolute clean wipe on Dreamfire, Dax, but you know, got a little bit punished there moving into zone, it seems.
They couldn't move into zone. I guess that was the biggest problem. Gino mentioned it. Try to res your teammate, you're into the ring, and you're on your bottom at the very end. I do want to say though, it's quite poetic that Makers took that win, because if you remember right, the finals for Split 1 was Tom Young-Kung taking that victory in 10 games. Now we kick things off with Makers under that new name doing so well, but we can see it here, the Edge team's getting a little bit punished too. I saw with Weibo looking for fights here and there. They Numnim attempted the first time. Eventually, it was them going for the second fight later on into the ring. But Dreamfire finding a bit more aggression now with No Name into the roster, also pitching in and finding KP along the way. Kill Devil doing very good job playing zone there, Lace, especially with the Watson setup and holding off Bear Claw. But eventually, Makers just had everything they wanted and more. Especially, I'd say Ziggy with this fuse. He's just putting so much pressure with his cluster nades being lobbed from so very far.
Yeah, this final zone, there's only a couple of spots that teams can be, you know, surely protected here. And there were already Makers, you know, dominating on that rock and holding steady. So it is a little bit difficult, you know, like the looks of Fruit Salad to sort of make it into that zone. You know, once those three teams are sort of set up, that's about it. You're pretty much done and dusted. And here we have Makers taking out our top there with 9 kills. Dexter, Ziki, and Ages. It's so good to see this dominating team back, Dax.
It's just great to see that they're keeping up with their form. Actually, before even we started here in the ALGS, they were doing so well in weeklies too, being at the top spot. So the form of Makers is something to watch out for, especially for today. Kill Devil though, already such a good side for a team that was at the very bottom of a split number 1. Fruit Salad doing well. LGD, MDY White still with their usual zone antics, but you can see it here already, Lace. Makers above and beyond everyone else with 21.
Yeah, you know, it's nice to see, I guess, touching on some of our new teams, Fruit Salad coming in there, just seeing these teams sort of battle it out with a lot of these heavy hitters. We see Legends Gaming, you know, about 17th, Boogie Borders even sitting at about 14th there. But you know what? It's nice to see Dreamfire hitting in those top 10s. If we look at anything about Split 1, you know, they started out having a bit of difficulties, I think, in our Split 1, Dax. So it's nice to see them in the top 10. And Serenity, of course, one of our teams that went over to LAN and absolutely dominated. Nice to see them show up today as well.
Yeah, were those the two surprises? Serenity doing so well, making it to the final lobby, and Dreamfire not making it to LAN in the first place. So it's a bit of a shift for Dreamfire. I do want to see where this experiment really leads right now for a team with such an illustrious history. And everyone who is rooting for Dreamfire, they're expecting this team to make it back to LAN. But what a game number 1 it has been here.
And what we're going to do is we're going to shine a little light on what happened in Split 1. We're going to take you over to a video and show exactly what we went through.
This is the Split 1 playoffs, and this is Los Angeles. We have the 40 best teams from around the world, 120 of the greatest players to ever play the game, all fighting for their chance to win a LAN and to hold up that ALGS trophy. Every single one of these players have given everything they have for months to be up on this stage. Because this is ALGS.
A violet sky for Reps. PK grabs the second, makes it a 2-pop, launches it. But there's no way he hits that Sensi shot.
Nasky moves in there. He has to reload. It's fine though. He beats them both. He's just better. As Yuka, can he hit the Graver shot? Like a Kenny clutch it up right behind him. The melee.
Hacker swings through the smoke. Beast of the Hunt is activated. He is farming.
Back back. Back on one. Kill the bang.
Back one.
Two dead. One.
Lying in wait, and we are just sending it. Sauce the IGL finds him, and here comes BR Demon for the fight of their lives to clean up ground.
To at least clear space. Yeah, nading. Oh my gosh, nade.
Longbow not going to be maybe the gun to use in this situation, but the Peacekeeper certainly is on the contest.
Something go through? Is this really happening?
The cold knockdown shield comes back. Roller in hand. He can do it. Cloud9er.
3 days ago, we started with 120 of the greatest players from 6 different regions from around the world, and now we're down to just 60. Their journey started back in January, and this is everything that they've been fighting for right now. Only one team will be crowned our newest ALGS LAN winner, but all 20 teams will be fighting for their share of $1 million.
And the question that everybody had coming into this week, can anybody dethrone the dynasties?
Boys, but here comes Legend Gaming. And remember, can they get the final kills? Yes, they can, but sadly, there is always one more, and it's Cloud9.
But this is just opening the door for VP to come in. Sharky's return to the finals.
You see the pink here. He's trying to heal up. He gets a one-shot. The Design goes knocked. I mean, they found the crevice, but right now they knew that they weren't going to win in their positioning because they were pinched. TSM get eliminated and recheck. Trinity clean up shot. They drop down. Knowing to fully swing it onto them. The trade though, as Zino gets a knock onto Slayer. Frex is the last one alive. He gets a knock afterwards. And LG.
To talk about Dark Zero again, we're talking about a match point teams. This could be their opportunity to hit match point here.
One more placement is all Rejectwinity need so far. And there we go, as Serenity and Dark Zero eliminated, Rejectwinity will cross that threshold.
2 teams already at match point, but we need to get that dub. They think they're safe, but they're waiting for them. They're waiting for them. The jump from Elevate to catch match pointing Dark Zero off guard. No banner for you.
They don't make match point. Elevate come in.
And Elevate from 0 to 100!
Fnatic have moved up to match point here, but that might be it for them in this game. Zero goes down to Koiful.
Legends may have saved the day!
And now they're pushing down to keep it going.
Following up with Jens, the last one alive. Legends try to fully send it. It's up to them, but they take out Dark Zero.
The full 307 are back up, and they're gonna send it in. Nasky stands up.
No way!
Here come SSG.
SSG to deny Dark Zero the chance of victory. Rejectwinity now getting involved.
They want to clear out this side. They see kills available. They see an opportunity to clear out SSG and take control of this side of zone.
5 remain. Fnatic still alive and still approaching from the south here. And Aurora just lost one of their rotation. It might be 2. It could be all 3. And another match point team goes down.
Fnatic are thinking the same thing at the moment, trying to get Leica back to his feet, but UKF will go down as well.
Yeah, on us, Zero's ready. Inting. In barrels.
07 eliminate, but it's all up to Waltzy now. Fnatic will go down. No, not much will fall as well. We're down to 6 squads.
But it's disguised and they're fighting going up against another match point team, but Reject Winity have the extra player.
They have 2 down. They just need to find the first. It's going to be Disguise down as well. They took that fight a little bit earlier. They win the fight against DSG, and now it's about winning one more.
Look at C9. Look at the position Serenity are in. Everything falling into place. Reject Winity are just going to watch this unfold in front of their very eyes. Surely it's going to be the moment for APAC North here.
Biding their time, waiting for their moment. As all of Reject Winity find themselves at Red Evos. It's a massive moment for Apex. It's a huge moment for APAC North.
It will be Reject Winity that will ring around this arena, that will ring around the Apex scene.
Put your hands together for your winners of the ALGS Split 1 playoffs. Reject Winity.
It was just absolutely the best being able to sit in that crowd, Dax. Next time, I think I'm going to take you my my suitcase and you can come and witness, I guess our neighboring region, APAC North, win. And hopefully we see someone from APAC South take that championship. We're finding out today what teams will be, moving forward through this split 2. So it's only time will tell, Dax. But it was such an exciting experience to be there at LAN. And yeah, hope you can join us next.
Yeah, I mean, I was a day late and a state away, but it doesn't matter. I felt the passion and the vibes anyway. And it was great to see that you guys had such a good time there. And APAC won at least, just not our APAC. But game number 2, of course, we're still keeping on World's Edge. And after everything that happened in Split 1 playoffs, I do feel like APAC South, especially starting today, there's a lot of us trying to prove something. That there's a bit of a chip on our shoulder with some of these teams, like Makers, Tom Yang Kong, they were, 35th place, if I remember correctly, back in LAN. So a return to form is so good to see from them from that game number 1.
Yeah, and they could just bring this experience back. Competing on a stage, I guess, is a different experience because, you've got all that energy and that passion and that going up against having a crowd watch you. It is something different, but coming over back to the APAC South region, we're going to see some, fresh faces come in. One thing I really am excited about, Dax, and I wanted to touch on some of the character compositions. We've seen meta changes. We've got the new POI draft change, but we're seeing less caustics this time. We've had another meta switch up, and it's been, excellent to watch to see the Catalyst come back and the Watsons come back. We obviously had a brand new character alter release for Apex Legends. No alters just yet. Hopefully we can see, somebody utilize these brand new characters, but I feel like we've had a nice composition meta switch up.
Yeah, and I love to see Catalyst being actually played again. It's just so interesting to see how those walls are actually utilized for those transitions. It's always so exciting because this game, these games, honestly, they get more high octane when you feel like there's confidence in cover.
Yeah, then let's take it away. We are here for game number 2. This is World's Edge.
Again, straight to the ground we go. And we are at World's Edge yet again. Welcome back, ladies and gents. Game number 2 in our first Split 2 matchup. Group A versus Group B. Dax and Genome still together here for this one. And Makers, the ones that took the win last time. Why you laugh at one, Genome? I know we've been together for quite a while, huh? Yo.
I think every time someone says that, it just makes me think of the Simpsons meme where I think it's like it's the can. I believe it's nuts and gum, and then like the it's got a little sticker on it saying "Together at last." Like,
Yo,
dear.
I mean, maybe you missed me because it was Elfish for a while, and of course you had Vicky back in LA. So
yeah,
with a bit of a reunion for us here, always in the first half. But it's the second map, and I guess my first question to you is: draft system looking pretty interesting. Are you serious? This is a ring. This is a zone that many complained about back in LA, didn't they?
Yeah, we had a couple. Well, no, this one looks like it's gonna go more Skyhook. I think it was like the It was the left side of trials that we were worried about. But then again, like, yeah, you're kind of right in terms of, you know, if we're talking about priority to zone, it is the same handful of teams that are getting that. Then again, you know, we also did just talk about how teams are on the other side of the map who are playing Edge and being able to get in a bit later have actually tended to do better as far as year 4 for the ALGS goes. So it is a little bit of a trade-off there, Dax.
Yeah, and I guess interesting enough, we were highlighting Makers a while ago. Since no one drops or pick Big Mod, now they effectively have 2 POIs here compared to only having stacks from Split #1, and since they're playing Edge, it's gonna be such a long road there, but we are already seeing contact all the way in. Skyhook, HKUF on one side, Fruit Salad on the other, and we are really seeing Fruit Salad love to play the zone, but HKUF, one of the teams that really barely made it to the Pro League, they're looking for contact, and look at those legends being picked up. Bang Blood is just an absolute constant.
I don't think we've ever seen that before, Dax. I don't think we've ever seen 2 legends at 100% pick rate. Genuinely, there's been metas where there's been 1, right? Whether that's been Gibraltar, whether that's been Wraith, whether that's been... I'm trying to think, there might have been one other as well, where they were like
Seer.
Close to or at 100%. Yeah, Seer might have been there. Even then, I feel like Seer was maybe, you know, 90%, something like that. Anyway, but having 2 legends at 100% is frankly nuts. We're still getting so you basically just got 1 flex pick around that, and that's a controller character. It's good, I suppose, that the controller class is balanced enough that we're getting several picks, and then also with the addition of Fuse, because he can act as a controller player with the Ringmaster perk. But that's wild, man.
Yeah, it's pretty insane, and especially with Bloodhound getting nerfed with removing one of those tactical cooldown perks along the way. It's still very popular, but no credit up on top, and good to see them as a trio. Anytime you can play the Watson, Savior will do so. We've said it how many splits already. He's been a constant in the lobby for APAC South for so very long. And from a perch like this, we've seen no credit make waves in games like this for so very long already.
I mean, it was interesting because we did see him switch off the Watson at some point during the EWC qualifiers.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, it was Lightning Unicorn, the only team who managed to make their way through that and get to that land. But no credit. It was a good effort. That said, yeah, interesting to see a little bit of flex pick there. We'll have to keep our eyes to see if that happens as we move across to Storm Point in the latter half of the series today.
Free Fuse picks, Cosmics there as well. And it's looking pretty interesting how these teams will love to play the rotate. But we're talking about Weibo Gaming again. And with the Catalyst, Bobo gonna set up the quick escape into the tunnel. But they're also considering perhaps a re-engage. Spikes being set towards the door. Weibo now have control of the interior. And perhaps they're the ones who look to play Gatekeeper here.
Yeah, of course, both the teams still not on purples. They're, you know, both about roughly 700 away. And Maker's definitely worse off with being now stuck within the ring. As we move over to Numnim sitting within Skyhook itself.
Enemy spotted near me.
I think they'll just be chilling for a while.
Numnim
Most of the teams within there, I think, will be.
I think Numnim is an interesting case. They were a team that technically qualified for the Pro League already under Outside, if I remember correctly. They still went through Challenger Circuit with a new third, and they're very good at contesting, but now with the draft system into play, you're not going to see that too often from them. They look to play the zone. Legends Gaming also a faster rotate this time around. A lot safer here perhaps, but it's KD nearby. Keep Going Gaming also there, and Fruit Salad keeping tabs on Legends right now, but from afar, easy flash. So scary still.
Wow, with that down here onto Weibo Gaming. It's actually Final Dream this time that are sieging them. You can see the knuckle clusters being thrown in there from FD7. These 2 teammates are just going to keep pulling back, pulling into Fragment as they keep their eyes on Weibo and try and make sure that they know where they are, and they can hopefully force them to just burn meds after meds as they're trying to get out of this now with an evac.
I mean, that's what's happening to Weibo. That's what happened to Makers, who eventually makes their way in through the Harvester area. But HKUF happy to be inside the next ring already. How many squads gonna be collapsing onto Skyhook here? All these buildings will have at least a team or two nearby. You can already see it. HKUF, they're gonna have Serenity for company. You can see outsides there. You already have Numnim. The list goes on and on. But eventually, it's the latter teams that will struggle to really get into this area, especially if it does keep going towards Skyhook, maybe outside the marketplace. An area we were able to watch last split, actually, where as soon as the ring really closed, all these teams who play the building, they were forced out, and Legends are already trying to anticipate that.
I like this spot that they've picked up here. I actually remember Dark Zero playing this spot, popularizing it in Split 1 of Year 3, when they were playing a little bit of Watson back then. Kind of made Chucky quit the game. A little bit sad, honestly.
Is that why?
That well, I mean, you know, he was suffering on the Watson a little bit. He's come back on more aggressive characters, and he's I've certainly seen him smile a lot more in the last LAN than I think he did in the one before that. But Player K, of course, the opposite in terms of his enjoyment on that character.
But he loves to play hard support, and looking back at the records, I think it was a game where DNZ actually took it last split, just fending off everyone who tried to go towards the outside of this market. Speaking of Serenity here, I guess I want to hear your thoughts about Serenity, Gino, because not many expected them to make that run in LA, and really notable for them, 3 second places in a row in one of the group stage games series, and right now they're looking to bring that success back home.
Yeah, well, I think when we look at the teams that we send over from APAC South, I would say generally they fall into 3 categories, right? There's your mad fragger teams, there's the really smart teams, and then you've got like the whole package, right? So, you know, your DZ, your Moist, the teams that can really do it all. You know, we've got teams like Tom Young Kung that I would say are probably a little bit more on the side of just, you know, really being able to frag out. And Serenity were kind of the opposite, right? They were a team that managed to make it to LAN a lot on the back of their fantastic macro. And of course, that is the kind of playstyle that shines if you can make it into the final lobby. And it was impressive to see Jesco and Legacy especially step up and were able to provide enough firepower to get into that final lobby where Bugi's IGLing and their macro could really shine. So, yeah, look, well played to Serenity, and kind of like we were talking about Wonton Dumpling at the start of the show, Dax, I'm hoping that they come back and do even better here in Split 2.
I mean, Wonton or Weibo now, it was a bit of a struggle back in LAN, just contesting TSM over and over again. And sure, there was that one moment where they got the wipe and we saw the beauty that was Peacock eventually, but it just felt like it was a little too stubborn from Weibo then, even though we know how good they are. But here we go again. Looks like these teams looking to make their way in towards the next ring. It's going to close on in. Final Dream, a team that's going to be very happy about the new shift in the draft system. They were Monkey King from the Challenge Circuit, really struggling against those contests, but here you go. Next ring looking very familiar. If you've been watching the region for quite a while, it's exactly where Legends Gaming is calling it.
Well picked from them. It has shifted north. Serenity playing within market, probably also going to be pretty okay. I mean, there's a ring console right next to outside here, but the chances of them actually getting outside to pick that extremely low as a nice grenade comes in here from VKG. We saw these guys really popping off at those the EWC qualifiers. So this actually looks like a team that I feel like could be on the up here in Split 2.
I mean, they have also QQ in the roster, but we're watching Makers now look for the push versus War Monster Firebird. Kano, the new member of this roster, the first to get knocked on down, and the hunt is on. Makers still with the classic TYK style. And Ziki, even with those knuckle clusters so pesky, it's just perfect for Makers to run this kind of comp, and they eliminate War Monster Firebird here.
Nice take from Makers. They get this building. It's not that far into the zone, though. I guess that's the issue. They're still going to have to get even further north, as you can see here. Not even... Yeah, there's a couple buildings free in front of them. They're pinging it right now. You can see the thought process happening in real time here. But that's only part of the next rotation that these guys are going to have to make.
And there's so much temptation in the middle of Skyhook with that Evil Harvester and Ring Console right beside each other. So pretty juicy. MXF though, they came from the tower and they're looking to make their way in now. Kill Devil though nearby, and Kill Devil has been the team that's been very pesky in these zones so far. Just one little truck to keep them alive. A pylon place 2, and MXF should be able to stabilize here.
Over at Kill Devil in that Dorito. You've got Keep Going Gaming. Definitely one of the more surprising teams from Split 1. Weibo popping in.
Jackie Chan, he's looking for it. Heal back now after doing a bit of damage, and just the in and out here of Weibo putting pressure on. They're only a duo though, but Peacock able to hold off Acquaintance there. Looking for the confirm right now. Reinforcements do arrive, and Fruit Salad, they try their hardest, but Weibo will still eliminate them. Jackie Chan though needs to get away now. A solo here left for Weibo.
Yeah, he's just using that double time to beat it, basically, and I don't know if he's going to survive very long. No credit, know where he's at. They hop in the fence just to make sure that he cannot close that door on them. And boom, there we go. Doesn't matter if they get the knock there onto Savior. They're back up and ready to go immediately.
Savior didn't expect that though. 111 a single shot, and Legends actually getting that final kill along the way, but VK Gaming now still holding off anyone who's nearby. Outside now, eliminate on the outside. VK Gaming looking pretty good so far, and many have had their eyes on VK Gaming. You mentioned it, Genome, that they've been doing so well within the relative off-season. I wonder how far they can go into the split, but Legends Gaming still very, very much pristine in their location, and they're just happy to chip away. Hemlock, so popular if you're going to be playing a zone like this.
I mean, we have to give it to Legends Gaming as well, right? So you remember, they're playing from Geyser. This is a POI that they're unfamiliar with. Of course, we can say that for most of the teams in the lobby now as well. But they've flown over very late, taken the balloon from North Tunnels, and found this spot. Honestly, just fantastic IGLing from Strafing the Flame, and you know, it's what we've come to expect from him.
I mean, they made it so far on that LAN LA run, but Bear Claw Gaming also looking to run rampant right now, facing off against Aflo and the rest of Num Nim, and Bear Claw able to just gouge them out here. An easy wipe for Bear Claw. They do lose Limo along the way, but it's enough to at least hold off this building for now.
Dream try and find their way in, but it's going to be the final gasp for them. Bear Claw as well will lose their chance in game 2 here, and no credit have a fantastic spot after that push, and finishing off the teams around them. It's MDY Black, the closest competitors. Serenity, of course, holding the market. Ring doesn't pull to them, sadly. Sometimes it does, but this time they now have to start planning the next move.
And now Keep Going Gaming is also someone to watch out for, but we're looking at Kill Devil. They've been holding for quite a long while here in this spot, and Boogie Borders is their victim. But here we go again. EKG from afar, rotating now towards the left-hand side, and it's up to Bolin to try and hold him off. Different input now for him. Good beam onto Casa. Casa's gonna get eliminated there, but VK Gaming still standing as a duo. Push comes to shove again. This Rock providing a bit of cover. QQ now climbing as high as he can. Formerly of AGL, now ready to run rampant here for VK, but VK Gaming's the one gone as Serenity have come to shine. A quick Dark Veil to set on up, give themselves a spot to reset. Serenity, they do eliminate Kill Devil along the way. Legends Gaming wanting a piece of the action. It's utter chaos now here by the single rock. Here we go again, Deja Vu, but Jesco's the one taking advantage of the altitude adjustment from up top right now. Serenity tried to hold, but left to the duo, so it's looking very, very dicey here. Arcstar gonna get thrown on over. Boogie trying to get the crack going. The pylon still into play, but Jesco gets the knock now on the easy flash. Serenity still holding steadfast, and Serenity looking shining, shimmering, splendid now after everything's said and done.
Oh, that was such a long fight there. Serenity, they're going to try and get this reset, but Keep Going Gaming are probably just going to charge straight through it and deal with him. Now, that's it. Legacy might be able to get this battle off, actually. And all of a sudden, he's got a Devo in his hand. Never know what'll happen with that gun. At the very least, he's managed to get top 3. Try to grab a couple more kills here as he pushes into MDY Black.
You don't expect it. They don't expect it. The Devo doing so much dirty work, especially now. It's a care package gun, and eventually it will be Serenity eliminated there by MDY Black. But this effectively, Genome hands this game on a silver platter to Keep Going Gaming unless they don't push it right now. KH has the angle. They get the scan going. It's time for the final push. Sets Keep Going Gaming, and the stock is serene. Beautiful damage, getting the cracks going, and Keep Going Gaming moving forward now, potentially held off though by MDY Black yet again, and it's MDY who takes map number 2.
Oh, celebratory lanterns go up in the air. MDY Black coming up the goods here in game 2, Lace.
Game number 2, nothing short of amazing, Genome, here in APAC South. You know, we witnessed Makers take out the first match. Now it's MDY Black collecting theirs. I just have to give a little bit of credit to no credit, though. They really shined in that match 2, but, you know, also no surrender for Serenity. I feel like they were just fighting for their life there. Such a stellar effort from the swarms of teams just coming for them.
I mean, I felt probably worse for Kill Devil when they started the initial fight, and then it was like a land sandwich, and you had Serenity coming from one way. Legends Gaming left their fantastic spot to try and get in on that fight, and it may have been the correct decision in the end, but it really spelt the end for every single one of those teams that got involved, basically. And yeah, it was MDY Black who were just able to stay out of it for a little bit longer and pick up the 12 placement points.
Yeah, I've watched this zone before, and it can be a little bit punishing for teams. Like, as you can see, it was just action-packed. Poor Dax just couldn't stop talking. The action just did not stop. But you find, you know, a lot of teams have to sort of push into each other when this zone sort of closes in, and fighting for this rock here. Kill Devil doing amazing, but you know what? It's just difficult, I guess, to sort of stop the fights and stop the third parties and just be able to get a breather.
Yeah. Sometimes Apex doesn't afford you that, Lace. You've got to just keep going. Armor swap after armor swap. One clip after one clip. There's no stopping it if you want to come out on top. And sometimes, yeah, it's just it all becomes a little bit too much as we see an epic stick there from KPG. So they get a double stun. They do like 70 shield damage for 2 of them, and they still can't win that engagement. That's actually quite surprising there from KPG.
Yeah, it definitely looked like they should have taken that out, but here we go. MDY Black out, victors of game number 2, absolutely abolishing the lobby there with the 7 kills, and great to see Keep Going Gaming as well. You know, they came to play a little bit later, I feel, in that match, cleaning up, you know, just a little bit of KP, but Serenity here as well, as we saw them sort of fighting for life on that rock, collecting 6 points there, KP, sorry, and just exceptional from Jesco.
Yeah, I mean, 1,600 from Jesco. Controller Demon there on Serenity. You know, Legacy, obviously, no slouch either. Playing that Bang Blood duo. Now, moving across here to the scoreboard, you can see Kill Devil are on top. That is probably not something we've said a lot throughout this year, Lace.
Yeah, they came second in our first match there, and just to see them sort of, I guess, collect a couple more kill points along the way and sneak up that ladder against Makers, you know, not too far ahead. But yeah, usually we see them, I guess, under the top 10 Genome. So crazy to see them sort of push first in our second match. You know, we obviously have a couple of brand new teams coming through and some, you know, old faces showing up. So it's, I guess, giving a few different teams a run for their money. I wonder if these POI drafts, Genome, have anything to play with it as well, you know, giving these teams that, you know, generally couldn't pick such a strong POI the chance to make it to the I guess, the top placements.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could say that, I guess, but, you know, Kill Devil, they picked Survey Camp. And typically that's not been a strong POI, and it's even less strong in the POI draft world, essentially, because usually it was bundled up with Epicenter. The way it works at the moment, you pretty much just have to play the POI by itself. VK Gaming have taken over Epicenter. They actually took it in the very next pick. No, they didn't. It was actually way later. It was a second round pick for VK Gaming. Anyway, regardless, it's it's really tough to say that, especially when you know, you're playing from, I would say, I mean, what was that? It was like the 10th pick for Kill Devil. Very interesting when, you know, you had things like launch site available. You had things like Mill. They went for Survey Camp while Mill was available on Storm Point. I mean, these are just some of the fascinating decisions that we will see happen under this POI draft system.
Yeah, and you find, you know, teams will probably, being such a new thing for them, they're still probably just working it out themselves. You know, they don't have it locked in, neither do we. So, you know, they're going to, I guess, as the split moves forward, grow a little bit when learning about which POIs would be a little bit stronger for them. You know, taking away the large POIs that most teams would fight for or even contest for. So, you know, it's only time will tell to see, you know, if these teams change their strategy. But for Kill Devil, coming out of Survey Camp, seems to be working for them. Is it because maybe some of the other heavy-hitting teams don't get the POIs that they want? Could that be it? But you know what? We're going to have to wait and see. We're going to take ourselves a short little break, and we will see you back shortly.
Break.
are.
I gotta admit, I may have tricked you. Whew, glad I got that off my chest.
Tell Death I said hello.
I will, Laura.
And welcome back, everyone. We're here to shine some light on the APAC South region here for Pro League Split 2. Makers took out the win in our first match, and then we had MDY Black steal the show, Gino, in match number 2. However, our current overall standings are showing that Kill Devil, a team we did not expect to sort of sit on top, they're back here for Split 2 and they're ready to show us what they're made of.
Yeah, they've been certainly picking up the points. I mean, I was having a look at some of the stats before. It's, Makers, as you said, have been doing quite well. All 3 of them are in the top 10 for damage right now. But then if you switch it over to kills, that's where Kill Devil start coming out ahead, right? So sometimes it's that conversion. It's about being able to be efficient with your damage and actually do it at the opportune time to pick up those points, which will help you move you up the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's not all about, I guess, sort of just placing in those top sort of spots. Obviously that gives you quite a bit of points here into going into the series. But you know what? It's really good to see, I guess, different teams flourish. We've talked about Weibo, which is, previously Wonton Dumpling, where they utilized kills. They were very, I guess, kill point hungry types of teams, which really, I guess, skyrocketed them to the top of the leaderboard. Having a look at them now, though, Gino, not doing so well in our first 2 matches like we're used to seeing. They keep getting knocked out about 15th place in our first match, our second match. And then again, if we even touch on another heavy-hitting team, Legends Gaming, they did a better performance in match number 2. But again, we're not seeing these 2 top teams that we saw in Split 1 really, skyrocket to the top.
Yeah, no, look, a 17th with 0 kills for Legends Gaming in the first match, not so great. Obviously, the second game was pretty solid. Did they need to get involved in that fight at the end there? Yeah, not quite too sure. But this is something that we have to talk about, Lace. There have been a total of 6 Legends picked so far.
I'm not sitting here clapping, Gino, because Caustic is right down the bottom there. Coming out of Split 1, all we saw, I guess, was Caustic, Bangalore, and Bloodhound. And I'm so excited to see Catalyst back in top picks here, along with some more Watsons as well, because I feel like the style of gameplay that Catalyst can do, especially in like final zones and blocking off, an entire team with a wall, just makes for great viewing. So forgive me for sitting here and being super excited that Caustic is down the bottom. But you know what? We still got, Bangalore and Bloodhound as our top picks, Genome. But I think this is exciting stuff for us.
It is. Yeah, look. We've got the 40-40 vision. It looks like we've already started in our game 3 here. So we'll catch you next time. Lace and Dax, you back in, mate. Back in with you, me, 40 Bangalores, and 40 Bloodhounds.
And I'm just double checking, is that the case again in this game? Pretty likely so far. It has just been Bang Blood all throughout. I'm a little disappointed, Gina, because remember back in Chal Circuit, there was a different kind of composition we would see, but yep, it's confirmed. 20 Bangalore picks, 20 Bloodhound picks, and it's Watson and Catalyst very close to one another as a third pick. No Caustics now this time around.
Yeah, you know what? There's always one lobby though, right? Like I feel like as we take a gander at where the rings are heading, and we see it is going very much towards Epi and Survey Camp. Not ultra north though, so Kill Devil, who look to be going towards the Survey Camp tracks, the train tracks up there. Well, maybe that'll suit them, maybe it won't. But we do often have one group matchup with groups A and B here, where they're very conservative. They'll go for that meta composition. And then we have like the aggro lobby, right? The one where everyone goes a little bit crazy, and you do see, who knows, maybe we will get that Revenant, Lifeline, Pathfinder. Honestly, I kind of doubt it because these teams are generally a little bit too smart and a little bit too good to deal with that kind of composition that's, you know, sort of geared around just pub stomping and running through lobbies that we see in CC.
Hey, I just want a little bit of diversity, okay? But you make a good point. I think this is kind of the case also. Last time around, the 1 day, 6 map kind of day, everyone wants to play a few more vintage stuff. The POIs are going to look very familiar. I don't want to spoil things for tomorrow, but it's going to get very much interesting with the draft itself. In the end, though, DK Gaming, they're happy to keep tabs on MDY Black, who just flies by. And that was such a surprising fight there, Genome. MDY Black, the odds stacked against them, especially after that Arc Star, but the fact of the matter is they took that map win, and it was incredible to say the least.
Yeah, it turns out the Devotion's pretty good.
Oh yeah, I mean, I played with Rexy a few times, and I think that's the only gun she trusts me to actually use and contribute.
Wow. I'm not gonna lie, it might be potentially, apart from like original Raybar, the best gun we've ever seen in the game. Like, I genuinely don't understand how you can lose a straight up 1v1 against pretty much any other gun at like a 10 plus meter range.
Yeah, fully kitted, you basically have Exodia in your hands. Once you get the magazine, that's the forbidden one himself. In any case, we'll see it perhaps later on. I remember Legacy also doing some damage as that solo on Serenity near that top 3, but it's getting pretty crowded in Survey Camp. Quickly here, Darkveil set up, Fruit Salad in position now, taking the building across everyone else. And we've seen this here, LGD on the other hand, another zone team that loves to play into the ring quickly. They have one building to themselves, no credit to, forced to stay and play back.
So of course there is 4 buildings in Survey Camp, 2 caravans, and currently all 4 buildings occupied. Got no credit, got Fruit Salad, got Serenity, and we've got LGD Gaming. Caravans, no one's sitting in them for the moment. All the way up north, we do have Kill Devil playing actually like literally outside the ring.
Yeah.
I guess they're just hoping to hold that and then, you know, not have to worry about their backs as they walk it in.
Isn't that been their strength so far, though? We've seen them be a bit of an outlier as soon as they get ring console knowledge, and especially the fact that they got that ring console in Survey Camp itself. They're watching the northern train tunnels, where you might see Bear Claw Gaming, a team that they're already wiped out a while ago in game number 1. Could be a repeat there, but Numnim on the other hand, Rolling Thunder, bit of a menace for them. Legends Gaming keeping away, and Numnim trying to give chase here.
Okay, they've dodged each other, but the Boogie Boarders, no such luck as they're having a fight over here against HKUF in Skyhook. Both teams have managed to grab 1 knock so far. HKUF, though, they're going for the res first. Boogie Boarders, they're going to try and trade it back as they throw in nades to delay them.
Oh, it's getting very pesky on the inside, and Raki has a stellar angle. The veteran leadership really here on the Boogie Boarders front. Killapaw's also chiming in with the Rampage, a new face on the block for Boogie Boarders. A bit of a trade that we've seen on the rosters with the Kuma in terms of players, but in the end, Boogie Boarders, they stave off anyone fighting them there.
Yeah, straight up 1-for-1 swap there with Killapaw's and Fussy. Obviously, both very accomplished players. That said, Fussy probably having the better results at LAN more recently. And therefore, you do have to wonder if Boogie Boarders are going to be happy with that switch. But only time will tell.
Except, we're also going to see outside nearby, but Boogie Boarders, I guess, bit of a problem really coming into LAN, right? Within the 36th place, if I remember correctly. I think that's really one of the sad parts about the LA run there, Genome, in Split 1. So many teams from APAC South couldn't even make it to the final lobby. This region does need a bit of a buff up, you know, coming into Split 2 just to prepare themselves for international competition and hopefully we're gonna see some of these teams get back the confidence. We already saw it for Makers. It's all Kung. Boogie Birders perhaps in the future, but this ring now still looking to hold in survey camp north of Epicenter, and it just might be where MDY Black is stationed here already.
Enemy spotted.
Team that's definitely pulling their weight today. As you say, they get that house on the hill above Climatizer. It's very central for this ring. So many other teams shoved into survey camp, potentially just on the outskirts in Epicenter, but MDY, they're the ones who can sit pretty for a while now. I mean, I guess we don't even really need to differentiate anymore, do we, Dax? Because after having MDY White finally picked up by LGD Gaming
I'm gonna
for the first time.
I'm gonna double check.
I just pulled up Wikipedia as well. Yeah. No, they are the only MDY crew in APAC South right now. Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
dude,
we can just call them MDY.
I press Control F on Wikipedia, MDY, and I'm like, it's finally happened. Only one single color and only one single MDY.
Enemy over there.
Yeah, I know. As far as I know, VK Gaming has an MDY in it. But hey, they're VK. We call them that way. Bear Claw, on the other hand, they have an angle here, but we waiting to see what Bear Claw would find as they've been stalking these train tunnels for quite a while. Apparently, the answer is the Boogie Borders, who's coming in from Skyhook.
After that initial fight win for them, they do rock up with the double purples. Legends sitting in over here. They're right next to Keep Going Gaming, but I think they'll be fine for quite a while because they've got the next circle, and then still some of the building here will be in the circle after that, Dax.
Yeah.
You know, will they want to take up a position earlier than that? Possibly. Be interesting to see if they decide to take the fight, or if the fight comes to them, actually, with KPG pushing up a little bit. But, you know, maybe they're just waiting for that opening. And if they don't get it, perhaps we can call a truce.
I mean, it's been a standoff. Keep Going Gaming and Legends nearby one another. Actually, Bear Claw and Boogie Borders finding one another, but dissuaded from the fight itself. And Killapaw's under pressure on the other side of the map, but it's just a waiting game here. Keep Going Gaming. If they make a single mistake, especially against set of a player K, they're to be the ones in trouble. Scans do get traded. Tree Cleaner erased from existence, and this is the opening. Legends Gaming is looking for a Dark Veil out of desperation. KH looking for cover using Piercing Spikes too, but Legends Gaming, they just need a knock. They just need a reason, and it's their time to shine now.
They have routed KPG here, and there we go. The Catalyst player does get finished off. Kill Devil adding to their tally, actually, by stealing that one away from Legends Gaming.
That was so quick, and that's the beauty of the Legends Gaming system. Really, as soon as you see a single knock, Strafing Flame, he's gonna go for call for the advanced easy flash. So much so on it. Player K providing an anchor for retreats. And it's what has worked for Legends Gaming, not just here in APAC South, but also in international competition. I still can't believe, even with a sub, incredible effort for Koiful, but you know it, that they made it within the top spots. Makers, though, on the other hand, continuing the rampage, and Final Dream will be forced to sleep here in World's Edge.
Yeah, more of a nightmare for those guys to start off with, as Makers make their way even further into this game off the back of that fuse pick. As we saw, not one of the more common ones here, but certainly teams who want to have a bit of extra firepower and use those knuckle clusters and that mother load to add to their arsenal.
Numnim, though, it's an issue with Weibo nearby. YR, he needs his health back up. Bronzo, Sato setting up defenses too, but you know that Weibo wants it now. They get the beam going though. Aflo, he's fallen. YR answer back versus Bobo, but Numb Nymphs can't handle the pressure. And when Wonton or Weibo wants it, they will get it. But have they gotten too much to handle now as there's contact from above?
It's going to be War Monster Firebird. And they've got triple blues, Dax. So as they pull up, they actually back off in the end as Azu gets very low. And now he's getting charge rifled from somewhere else. But honestly, they've kind of done the damage. Weibo have had to leave, boring behind here. As they run into the circle, Maker's also trying to do the same, albeit a little more healthy on their way in. But other teams set up with Watson Fence's pylons already around them. Teams like Dreamfire, teams like Outside as well, you can see spreading out around the position that Makers are. Kill Devil have picked it perfectly. It does indeed continue to pull up to the tracks.
Yeah, with the 1-2 split, they have a position. Weibo, though, left to a solo, and it's just Jackie Chan in the middle of all that action. Dreamfire, though, will be found by VK Gaming. Boogie Board is eliminated. Weibo Gaming eliminated. And I think that's been the issue for Weibo so far. All these teams have studied Weibo more coming into split number 2. They know how strong Wonton Dumpling can be, and we've seen in these fights here, Genome, that Weibo, they're not as clean as they were compared to the last split. They're always taking at least a knock along the way, and then a third party comes along and prevents them from resetting the way they want to.
Yeah, it has been a little bit tough from Weibo here. I mean, let's go and check. I mean, we can't just think back to our historical knowledge of where these teams have been landing, right, Dax? We have to check every time now and be like, okay, you know, is there a reason for this? And going to have a look now, they are playing at Siphon, exactly. So historically, one of the, you know, probably top 2, top 3 POIs in the whole of World's Edge. So the struggle that we've seen them go through so far, not explained by the POI draft.
Just hasn't been as on point from Weibo, but they've had a few off days like this before. Still go. More Monster Firebird alive with the trio. Azu did get the reset going. He still has blue armor though, but this is still a fuse, and those knuckle clusters very pesky when lobbed into the interior. They're trying to bust through though those cat barricades yet again, and eventually August Stern's the one who falls first. MDY able to make the trade. War Monster Firebird on the inside now, but it's just critical damage being made here. Shark, the only one still standing for War Monster Firebird, and MDY eliminated there. No back-to-back for them.
No more respawn beacon currently in the inventory either. Maybe there's one in those death boxes, but so many other teams struggling to find their way into round 5. You can see the shatter caps coming out here, and it's not going to be enough for No Name.
He brought the bow check to a gunfight, and in the end, it wasn't enough. Dreamfire, VK, War Monster Firebird are feasted on. Sorrenti gone too. And it's that classic APAC-S fiesta. When we see the ring close in, these teams are bound to die. And from above, from their perch, Legends Gaming just keeping an eye out. 100 there, the frag doing damage. And Bearclaw Gaming eliminated. Legends Gaming feasting again. They know it's an easy mark versus Outside.
It's looking so good for them, and unlike Kill Devil, Dax, who was playing from Survey Camp, don't have a lot of resources to win with. Legend have feasted upon these other teams, and they have a lot of the circle to themselves, a direct line into the next zone, as well as just sitting on top of, you know, there's a gold Nemesis in Strafing Flames hand, as well as, you know, as many bats as you can shake a stick at this point. So Legends Gaming, honestly, you know, sitting in a fantastic spot here. And I really think it'd be cool to get a listen in with Legends Gaming in a second to see how they play this out as they move towards that final second. Let's go to that now.
We can't come here. It's blue armors, bro. One has purple.
Give
back.
Maybe
it's only a solo.
Only solo.
Only solo. We kill him.
He's running it in.
Hey, I think we're doing it.
One.
Single thing this.
Kill.
People in front of us here.
Kill.
Scanning.
One.
I net.
Netting. Guys, we need to swing right now. Swing right now.
Yeah.
I'm safe.
I'm not safe. Wait.
I'm waiting for the barrel. Fight. 40.
Crack.
What? Almost cracked.
Timing.
I feel.
Okay.
Coming. I'm in.
Bang one. Bang that.
Standing.
Look left, player, look left.
Okay.
Smart.
Get
Careful.
I cannot.
You're good. He died. Look up, player.
Rest me.
I'm resting, don't knock.
Yeah.
Where are you?
He may
From bottom,
I
player.
killed one. I killed.
Oh, you're the fucking best, bro.
Man.
It's a duo.
Kill him.
Zing.
Nice. Rest me again. Insurrect. I'm rising.
Cover me.
Lost him.
Yeah. Oh, I died. You win this, player.
I'm holding on too.
Speak mark.
Oh, this is insane, but it's not enough for Legends Gaming. The Godly Nades player K step up. It was so much going in favor of Legends, but no credit. They got in there and they got the job done.
Dax, teams dropping like flies as Zone 4 closes in, giving Legends Gaming, a collection of KP and a spot designed for the gods, and then seeing Player K to, I guess, ward off two teams as they tried to get that res there. But, waiting idly by, I guess, was no credit. They had an excellent spot. They played it patiently and took out the win in our match number 3. That's half of our matches done for today, Dax.
I was freaking out the whole time Legends Gaming was doing that. It started with the nades, as I mentioned, but Player K, usually he's your anchor, usually he's your support, and with an RE fortified, sure, it had the hammer point, but that was just so decisive from Player K, and because of it, Lace, 16 KP there for Legends in second place. That's around, 25 points, if I remember correctly, if the math checks out, but that's insane to see from Legends Gaming and exactly what we were looking for from them.
Yeah, usually holding off a team, you sort of pepper a couple of shots from far back. But Player K just decided that, no, I'm going to decimate the teams that flock in for us to be able to get the revive there on easy. But that was absolutely exceptional by them. M and K's as well, absolutely decimating all in their path. They did sort of manage to get a little bit further into zone, but it was sort of held out in this section of the game where at least I think it was 6 teams just went down in this final zone.
Yeah, and I have to say, this was a game that really prioritized how strong the anchor play of both Legends Gaming and actually Kill Devil. They did well enough for quite a while, but Legends just had that extra bit of firepower, and this was just a thing of beauty. Easy flash from above, just destroys, disintegrates Fruit Salad. It's a toss-up for them, but without Player K's antics, and without Player K having that position in the first place, Legends Gaming would not have the opportunity to impress. They were way too low at the very end there, Lace, but 25 kills, that's something for the books, really, and a marker, a standard being set so early on into the splits.
Even not taking out the win there for Legends Gaming, they will still skyrocket to the top indeed with that massive 16 kills, and Player K absolutely holding together for the team. No credit though, as we said, had a excellent position in that last zone, and they just had to wait idly by to collect all the kills there to take out the win. And Kill Devil, again, placing quite high for our teams today, Dax. Didn't have really a lot of KP, I guess, in that one. But, getting that top 3 position is excellent for them. And as we take a look, we'll have a look exactly where they sit, Dax.
I mean, they called the ring so very well. As soon as that first ring console gave them info, they had an idea. They just needed to play towards the north. And with it, they're within the top 3. Second place, though, behind Makers, who gets 36. But where did Legends Gaming come from, Lace? 25 from a single game, from 8 to 33 real quick. That just rockets them up from around the bottom half to the top 3 here.
And, this is exactly what we expect for them. Their first 2 matches, I was commenting that, they were getting knocked out about 15th place, having a few kills along the way, but, you know, that is not a usual thing for them. This is exactly what we want to see from Legends Gaming. This is exactly why they made it to Split 1 playoffs. They can absolutely decimate all that's in their path with the cohesion that this team has. It's awesome. I guess Kill Devil still kind of taking charge, taking the lead, not, as I said, collecting the kill points as we wanted them to see, but again, Makers as well. Sort of they've been going toe-to-toe with Kill Devil in our leaderboard recently, but, you know, I guess that match showed that all their hard work really pushed them to the top for a reason.
I mean, it's something we were talking about with Genome, right? How edge teams can make such a big impact and suddenly shift the side of the battle. Makers have been doing so, but it hasn't been the best way for them to make it so very long into the game itself. The only game that they won, actually, was one that they were inside the zone early on already, and they had to be the advantage. They had that red armor then, and they wiped the floor against anyone even setting up with the Watson. But right now, that's really the case why a team like Legends Gaming can rally back. Once they find a good position, and once they have step-up plays from Easy Flash, from Player K too, it just suddenly, we see how good Legends Gaming can be. And right now, I'm so impressed here, Lace, with how that game really unfolded, because yes, Kill Devil did well, yes, Makers did well, but Legends Gaming, again, back into basically in control of how this lobby can go here.
Yeah, we call it like a snowball effect, you know, they just, once they ramp up, you just can't stop them. That was our game number 3. We're going to take ourselves a short break, and we will see you guys back shortly.
They know where you are.
I gotta admit, I may have tricked you. Whew, glad I got that off my chest.
Togato said hello.
I see.
Reignite is gonna do it! They are your champions! Dark Zero is going to be your champions of the Apex Legends Global Series!
Welcome back, everyone. We are here for Apex South Pro League here in Split 2. I'm here joined with Dax today. We just witnessed an absolute blessing of a game from Legends Gaming, but let's not take away the credit from No Credit, who took out the win in match number 3. I feel like Legends Gaming has just got the sauce and they're going to make their way to the top.
I mean, they got back into the game, and now we're going to be going into a next map. Storm Point is up next, and with it comes a new draft too here, Lace. And I guess what's most interesting for me coming into this draft is we saw priority for certain teams, for most of the teams actually, back in World's Edge, around 14 of them. But right now, only 6 of the squads first pick their POIs in Storm Point specifically, and especially right now, look at their number 3 pick there, Legends Gaming, back at Sito Station where they love to play from.
Yeah, we saw Legends Gaming pick Geyser, I believe, on World's Edge. So this coming into, I guess, the POI draft system, like you said, you get to pick priority on your particular map. And as we see, teams shine a little bit brighter on particular maps. Weibo Gaming, Wonton Dumpling, we, knew them as edge hunters. They found it, I guess, a little bit difficult, I think, in World's Edge, Dax, but they can really do some damage on Storm Point. So this could potentially be their game, and bringing in this POI draft system, getting to pick, I guess, going over it to Pylon could be massive for them because this is such a great POI.
And speaking of Pylon right away, Weibo Gaming, that's exactly what they used to play as Wonton Dumping. Dreamfire also 12 pick going back to the mill. So you can see if it's a sub 20 draft pick, it's something that they've already played from split number 1. And it just goes to show that it's what they're prioritizing. And not only that, it's something they're very familiar just to rally back in the bottom half.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting just, I guess, to see how these teams move out of their selected POIs, just because, this could be something different for them. But we're going to take it away. We're going to head on over to our first game on Storm Point here. This is going to be match number 4. Let's take it away.
We're halfway into the session already here, Genome, and we are moving into Storm Point, and look at what's happening to kick things off. A finisher even. No way for Ransacker to get out. Final Dream picking up KP early.
Was that no contests?
Huh?
Who said that? Was that me?
Probably.
Did I say that?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, look, it turns out, as it so happens that, we do have HKUF running into Final Dream very quickly, right?
Yep.
I think there are some flight paths from some of these POIs that can actually get very close to each other, right? So with Final Dream being over there at Cliffside, obviously that's like, literally one of the worst ones. And then having Trident as well. I mean, we're going to have to start referring to them as these names now, Dax, because, that's literally what these teams are picking, right? So Final Dream, they were over at Lightning Rod, of course. And then, HKUF, they got Cliffside, Cliff_side, because it was literally pick 40.
Yeah, I guess that's the problem because it's a snake draft. You get your first pick for your first map, or whatever map you want to prioritize, but now, coming into Storm Point, this is where it's going to hurt HKUF. East Trail, Cliffside, whatever you want to call it. That early contest for a car just doesn't pan out for them, and they can't even rotate quickly enough to get anywhere else. MDY Black had their number towards Launchpad even. I do want to say, though, real quick here, Genome, Legends Gaming, usually strafing, he's looking for something like a Trident. Can't do it now, because they all drop towards Sito, and they're moving into Jurassic instead.
Yeah, so some shots are ringing out, and I guess, as going back to that snake draft, Dax, some teams, they'll get 2 middling picks, and perhaps they've got an equal chance to play out across from either World's Edge or from Storm Point. And other teams like HKUF, who get the 1 and the 40, they've just picked up only 8 points from pick 1, and now they have to do better from that from pick 40.
And that sounds so difficult here, especially now with all these teams looking to go around Echo HQ. It's something very familiar to these APAC South squads. It becomes so chaotic, especially with this ring pull like this, moving from the pylon towards the southeast. Weibo's gotten in there successfully. You already have Numnim on the inside. Fruit Salad again, one of the faster rotating teams right beside VK Gaming too.
Very well set up now between the 2 separate buildings, Weibo. We're seeing a couple of different teams come in now. MDY Black have just pulled up, and they're trying to get put in that, sort of under Echo position. Dreamfire go from the Trident to the evac, but it gets sniped down.
Let's reposition.
That is unlucky for Dreamfire. And Weibo was watching out. Second chance though, don't worry. They got another to spare. Knowing how Weibo's been watching, they're gonna be tracking especially the flight path of Dreamfire now. And interesting enough, Genome, I'm looking at the legend picks already. It's all Bloodhounds. It's all Bangalore's yet again.
Oh no.
And
Oh
Dreamfire.
no.
Oh, they got in there so for now, and I guess they're relatively safe because they get the scan going there from No Name.
Yeah, they do manage to find the stairs, which was very important because Dreamfire, they were in the crosshairs of MDY Black, or MDY as we're going to call them now because we don't have to keep saying the color. And yeah, it looked like they might actually just get a knock in the sky there, but they do actually manage to get there safely. So for now, it's a very strong position.
Dreamfire safe for the time being. Fortunately, couldn't make the mark that they want. Early eliminations in the past few games after a relatively decent game number 1. And LGD, on the other hand, formerly MDY White, and why we still have the MDY color convention naming here. I mean, we've seen some of these squads here, Genome, more so play the zone based on their history. Usal being one of them, MDY, or LGD rather, being the other, but no credit on the other hand. Have found contact towards Pylon. It's outside, moving in now towards the outer circle, and no credit keeping tracks and tabs on them.
Yeah, just the two sitting in Pylon at the moment, Dax. Will we get a pullback? These two teams would love it, but the other 10 teams sitting over in Echo HQ right now, who are banking on that, would not be so pleased. That said, they're just going to juke around a little bit. Nice little isolated TDM match between our two teams here.
I mean, if you've ever played TDM on this map, you know anyone who plays Horizon, anyone who takes that high ground, they already basically won the next 8 minutes of the game.
So true. So true.
I guess what's interesting is outside, as a team, if you look at this roster, it's a little bit new with Nuku and Emilia's, formerly of IBG from last year actually, coming back to return into competition under the outside banner, and at least they stay alive for now. They get away from the likes of No Credit, and relatively they get this pyramid building here that can be good for the rotation later on.
They're still looking at them, still wondering about this, as we do get the next ring pull, and it is indeed an Echo HQ zone. That said, a little bit over to the other side towards Devastated Coast. I think teams pulling in, playing the hill above Echo HQ. Between that and Devastated will probably be okay too. Because it's pulled a little bit north, that means, yeah, the teams we're looking at here, LGD, Fruit Salad, and VKG, have some of the better spots now. And look, we still haven't lost a squad at this point.
Yeah.
20 squad's still alive.
This has been one of the cleanest games, cleanest starts so far for APAC South. The only one we've lost there was from HKUF contesting the initial trial then towards Lightning Rod. And I guess my eye still is on Kill Devil. They refuse to play where the majority is, but they're always nearby. They're over at the east here of Echo HQ, the midpoint basically of Echo, as well as Devastated Coast, and they just want to keep away from any potential action, and there's a potential shift towards them also with the ring later on there.
I mean, the action might find them, because as you say, there's every chance that the ring actually does pull a bit easterly.
Yeah.
And at that point, Kill Devil have put themselves in the box seat once again. I mean, it seems like they're that bellwether team today in this series, currently sitting at 35 points. One off the top of the leaderboard, which is Makers. And if Kill Devil can just rack up a few more KP, a few more placement points, they're going to have an absolute cracker of a start to Split 2.
We've been hyping them up, especially because of the addition of Bolin. But on the other front here, it's Final Dream now facing off against Bear Claw Gaming in Jurassic now. It's Final Dream looking to find an angle here from the elevation. And aimbot SWQ, as well as Moku, taking a bit of chip damage, but this height is working out well for Final Dream so far. A scan now to look for where Bearclaw's trying to hide in cover. Haven't gotten enough as of yet. MXF eliminated off screen there by Keep Going Gaming. You can see Moku trying to play from a bit afar. The smoke's into play, but Lux actually with the first knock here onto aimbot there. And now it's trouble for Final Dream. They've been struggling so far into the lobby. 2 points over 3 maps. Here in the fort, get nothing too as Bearclaw eliminate them.
No credit. Masters of the third party. Princes of turning up when exactly you don't want them to, but they will take 2 knocks straight up here. Incredible turnaround from Bearclaw.
Oh,
Benfu goes for the clutch and he will get it.
they got the flash early on, and Bearclaw Gaming survived to tell that tale. No credit, cause for concern in how the third party is. They're very good at rushing in, but we've seen one of them get knocked down so often early into the fight. Savior has been the front line, and not in the best way. He gets knocked early on. We saw it happen versus the Peacekeepers there of Weibo 2, and this time they paid a price for it versus Bearclaw.
Incredible clutch. Usually it's Savior coming out on top in those situations, but not this time. Legends Gaming with the movable, drivable pylon, just to keep them nice and healthy. That's a hell of a spoiler on the car.
Yeah, it's like an old show in MTV where they soup up the car. Here you go.
In my ride.
Yep, brand new pylon for you, buddy. Would you drive a car like that? There's just like a spinning top of electricity in front of it, rather than like the engine block peeking out or something.
Yeah, I know, that's some Back to the Future Looney Tunes kind of nonsense. Legends Gaming have got going on here. Wow, even Easy Flash makes it in. And they've got the next pylon ready to go as well, so they can't get besieged. Even more important in these lobbies where you have the fuses playing, Dax. Of course, we've definitely seen more fuse on World's Edge. If we note how the teams have mixed up their compositions, going from starting off on World's Edge and now moving across into Storm Point. Wow, it's actually been the other way around. Bearclaw Gaming have switched from Watson to Fuse. HKUF have switched from Catalyst to Fuse.
Yeah, we're seeing a bit more Fuse right now. They know some teams will love to tuck themselves into these kind of corners and try to punish whatever they can. Numb them though. Central location still in Echo HQ. Next ring pulling in the favor of MDY White, who are one of the better teams to call those kind of rings. But Legends Gaming, their kit is looking very strong here. Player key is already on red. Easy Flash, Strafing Flame should get the red armor soon too. Just need to get top up onto Easy Flash, and it's gonna get chaotic quite soon here. Perhaps, I feel like in the next ring, as soon as that one closes down, we're gonna get your classic APAC Fiesta later on there.
Oh my god, yeah. With the amount of actual playable space left in this ring, we are gonna say goodbye to so many squads. So many. That is kind of nuts.
That's just how it works. It is so little space though, and you can see half of it, more than half of it, like 60% on the cliff side. LGD will work with whatever they can, but seems like trouble afoot. Keep going. They have a corner to work with, but they're the ones getting peppered from afar. You see Aegis though, and the rest of Makers too, looking to seize on in. Yuki Sang, how do they even handle all this pressure outside? They're inside the ring, sure, but for how long? Makers now trying to make their way in. The fences, though, will be in the way. Yuku still with a setup in the pylon, and now Noel Sang have to pop as much as he can here with the hunt. Makers, though, eliminated along the way. Outside, holding steadfast there.
Are they gonna get some of these guys back up? Get Kill Devil getting involved in that fight with the Sentinel. And on the other side, One Monster Firebird getting rinsed here by Weibo Gaming.
It's a struggle again, and here we go with chaos afoot. Monster Firebird, they thought it would be a free third party, but Kano, the only one still standing now, as you can see that Weibo wants a piece of the action, but they need to go for their own reset as to have been knocked down. While this happens, though, Fruit Salad will take advantage. Rarely do you see this team venture outside as much as they would like here. Right now, they're hunting the stragglers of Weibo. They find he got along the way. They find Weibo, sure, but eventually they turn on the round and they realize that it's Boogie Borders now in position. War Monster Firebird, they're eliminated, and Fruit Salad need to get out of danger as soon as possible.
Yeah, Boogie Borders, they've actually created a nice little pocket for themselves. You can see there with the intersection of the cat walls, it gives them time to get Killer Paws back up and running. Incredible timing from Boogie Borders there to actually make this and slam. Of course, they were around the other side of the wall. There was a pocket in Pylon where you could still play up until now, so they've evac'd around that to come in for a desperate last-minute attempt. As you can see, just plundering these boxes for ultimate accelerants because they need every ult they can to try and make their way into the 5th round.
And these late rotates are even better when you see the chaos in front and stay away from it. But Serenity playing wall climbers for the time being. It's Bear Claw, their opponents here. They're also trying to rush on in. HKUF, they're only a duo too, and they might get overrun by these trios trying to run into them right now. Serenity being alive for now. Boogie Borders eliminated on the opposite end. Nade's so huge here, and Boogie's down to the ground. Serenity struggling to survive. There's chaos afoot again. There's Kill Devil watching and lying in wait. Serenity eliminated. Numb 2. We're down to 5 here.
The time for watching is over, and the time for getting involved is now. Kill Devil with their position on the hill, looking down, sneering at the rest of the lobby, who are getting their hands dirty, but they're above that. They're above the phrase and the worries of the peasants below. LGD Gaming, they've managed to carve out a little bit of space for themselves on the left-hand side here. Not only that, Ming Yue has 6 bullets in the Kraber. That said, they've only got blues, so they've got to watch out for LGD. And Legends Gaming getting on their head.
Yeah, but Legends can actually commit on this. Puts his Feiju, knocks player K from afar, and Legends
Kill Devil moving in
for the reset. You mentioned it though. Kill Devil moving in. They sense blood in the water, and it's their time to shine. Kill Devil lying in wait, watching, waiting, and now they're on the hunt. It's just a smoke screen that keeps Legends Gaming alive here, as LGD will be eliminated, but Kill Devil, they've had a stellar day today, and they're looking to continue now with a win here. Game number 4 goes KD's way.
Incredible from Kill Devil. Just from strength, this team. It's not like they've been gifted these games, Dax. I mean, that was like an incredible way to play that, identifying the armory early on, you know, looking for kills in that mid game, and then just pouncing at exactly the right time to come out against teams like Serenity and play from that high ground. I'm just loving the macro and the decision making from Kill Devil so far today, Lace.
Yeah, something crazy happening for them. You know, they were kind of pushing around that rock just to get into that zone and absolutely obliterating all in the path just to sit idly by, I guess, while Legends Gaming sort of had to fight for their lives there. But Kill Devil just absolutely decimating in these last couple of matches, and then again in match number 4. It's excellent to see them. You know, they're sitting about second on the leaderboard there, Makers out in front. So this 100% would push them, you know, to that first place position, I guess, for game number 4.
I feel like it's going to be pretty close to that at the very least. Look, Legends did put down quite a number of kills that game, Lace. I've got to say that as well. They might not be taking out the dubs, Legends. They've had 2 seconds so far, but they have scored more than 10 kills.
Yeah, we saw
games.
Legends Gaming take out VK Gaming, who's just sitting underneath them on the leaderboard. So I guess that's going to, you know, put them in a much bigger lead again and make sure, you know, that they are solidifying that top spot. But yes, as we can see, sort of this rock play here by Serenity coming around, it just wasn't enough with all the nade spam coming in and trying to fight for their life just to get into this position and waiting idly by was Kill Devil.
They were lying in wait and they pounced just when they needed to. You know, they weren't content to sit up on that high ground. They saw the trades coming out from teams 2 and 3, and that said, of course, it's the time to go in. You can see how easily they mopped the floor with the last team as they flew into a first place with 7 kills. But that's 19 points for them. It's 21, however, for Legends Gaming.
Yeah, well, I think you called it there. That could skyrocket Legends Gaming right to the top. Dax and I were commenting that, you know, the first couple of matches for Legends Gaming, 15th and very low on the leaderboard there, and had a crack over a game in game number 3, shot them up to 3rd place. So I guess this could do it again, but we'll find out right now, Genome. We're correct in both avenues.
Yeah, it's a tie there. We've got Legends Gaming. Of course, they're going to be, if it was a tiebreaker for these two right now, it would be Legends ahead because they've had that massive game with the 16 kills, a 25-point game, the highest point game being the first tiebreaker for the teams. But of course, we've still got 2 games to go, so it'll be more than likely decided by the points between these 2 sluggers going at each other. Makers, they struggle a bit there. That was a rough game for them in game number 4, so that means they're now a little bit behind the pace. But I mean, even if you ended up the day in 3rd, you would still be taking home what's that? Something like 19 split points, 18 split points, I think it is, which is, yeah, a really good effort still.
Yeah, we're so used to seeing, I guess, Legends Gaming at the top, Genome, along with Weibo, previously Wonton Dumpling, but to see, you know, Legends Gaming and Kill Devil up there, this is why I absolutely love this region. You just have no idea who, I guess, has put in the absolute work to just change the game. You know, they've been thrown into this new POI draft system as well, which, you know, in the 4th match there, we saw a little bit of a contest, so it kind of feels a little bit funny to see, you know, teams sort of landing on each other with these changes. But you know what? They just adapt so well, our region.
Yeah. I mean, I guess one of the adaptations the Kill Devils made, we've touched on it a little bit throughout the day, but considering how well they're doing, I feel like we have to mention it again. The addition of Bolin, who of course was playing for DNZ last split, and Heihua leaving Kill Devil seems to have just completely revitalized this team. We know how good Bolin's been. We've seen him do it at LAN a couple of times. And yeah, look, Kill Devil, they were struggling last split. This split, completely different story.
That's it. Rostermania can change things for us. We're going to take ourselves a short little break, and we will see you guys shortly. And welcome back, everyone. We've had a cracking start here to Pro League and Apex South. We just witnessed game number 4 on Storm Point with Kill Devil taking the lead and Legends Games firing up the leaderboard to put both of these teams neck and neck with 54 points each, Genome. These two teams have about an 18-point lead in front of Makers, so we are itching to see some more action from them.
Oh, it's a big gap there between first and second and the rest of our lobby here. And it's a big gap between Kill Devil's Split 1 performance of 30th, last place, and the fact that they are on track to start it off in first place here after match day 1.
You know, before the break, we were talking a little bit about roster mania and I guess the changes. And you were speaking that, you know, Kill Devil has had a little bit of a change. And this is exactly what they needed, Genome.
It's nuts, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, look at this. Consistent on the kill points, consistent on the placement points. Yeah, 3 out of 4 games today have just been bangers for Kill Devil. And we've actually got a lot of vision of it. Sometimes, you know, you see a team come out and you're like, oh, how did that actually happen? You know, you got to do a Jayhawk and go back and watch the VOD the whole way through to actually work that out. But observers have been on it this time. You know, we've really got to capture a lot of that action. And yeah, it's just been so cool to watch that decision making in action, because it feels like they have been picking those spots early. I mean, sure, they did get some northern zones coming out of survey camp. They you know, that sort of stuff, but they have made the most of it. That is the absolute truth, Lace.
Yeah, and you know, it's we can't, I guess, not talk about Legends Gaming. We saw them play in Split 1 playoffs. You know, they've made it to LAN. They are always performing extremely well, you know, in the top of our leaderboards. And let's go and watch them perform wonderful again. We're going to take it away to game number 5, guys. We're back on Storm Point.
2 more left in the set here, Genome, and we got 2 teams at the very top of the leaderboard. Kill Devil and Legends Gaming tied in points, also tied in damage, over 10k for both effectively, and it's getting exciting at the very top, but we have so many other squads looking to find their form. Serenity, perhaps one of them who can play spoiler within the top 5 right now.
Yeah, you know, we keep having to sort of go over some aspects of this POI draft and how it's affecting this, because it really is one of the biggest changes we've had to competitive Apex in a long time, if ever. I mean, we thought that the Legend upgrades system was a big change. I feel like it actually didn't affect things that much in the end, right, Dax? I mean, the Evo changes, that certainly had a big effect in how you play the game. Upgrades not so much. The POR draft system, I think, is going to be a big one. And we've seen some teams go for comfort picks. You know, Legends Gaming, they picked Ceto Station over Mill when they had the 3rd pick today. And obviously they played from Ceto before, but I think one of the things we have to point out here is they played from Ceto, but they usually stole the Trident from Cenote Caves. They can't do that anymore. When you land there, you don't have the distance to get all the way and grab the whip down from down south. So it's a big difference from them. They could have played a similar position, very quick looting POI, and still had the Trident had they picked Mill first, but they leave it for Dreamfire, and that's interesting that we're seeing teams go for, you know, what is more of a comfort pick. You know, who knows? Maybe Legends do think Ceto is actually a better POI. But either way, there's so many little dynamics going on behind the scenes when these teams have to make these choices in the POI draft every week.
I don't need to fix what isn't broken, but Kill Devil, they're in danger immediately. Levy already cracked down to Flesh. Has to go for the shields too. And BK Gaming landing nearby, no credit. They already done a bit of damage towards the side of Kill Devil, but because of BK's presence, Kill Devil has to back off their early rotation that they've always been relying on for the past few games in this lobby.
Oh god, yeah, that was a little bit scary for Kill Devil, wasn't it? But they do find their way back into one of those buildings.
That's done. Legends Gaming. They're landing here.
They're joined by a couple of us. I think they'll probably be able to sit behind here and just, you know, play nice for now. Because you've got no credit. They're looking across at Legends, Kill Devil, VKG sitting in the Zip building. And then more teams are pulling up, though. Teams definitely just want to get in and around this Num Nim. Taking some shots on the way in, as well as Fruit Salad evacing in just under VK Gaming here. So as we see that gold longbow with the 410 scope. Reminder, 1x digital threats are vaulted. They are no longer in the game. That is the only digital threat scope that you can now get.
And I've been watching some of the tendencies for some of these teams. Fruit Salad, as soon as they see that there's contact in the building, they actually swing east and go back the way they came. So they're waiting perhaps for Weibo Gaming to come their way. We're looking at outside right now. Who's also trying to move on in. But I do want to build on what you said a while ago. Instead of teams like Legends Gaming getting the Trident, Warmonster Firebird, it's a reason why they prioritize getting Cenote Cave so they can get those Tridents. They didn't even see HKUF contest that initial Trident towards Lightning Rod, and they're only now looking to try and take it. But Legends, a faster rotate just by flying in. It's a little bit different from their usual game plan on this map.
It is different, and you know, if there's a ring like this, Dax, it's not too much of an issue because assuming they get the evac towers required, which, you know, in Cito Station, you're almost certain to get, it's fine. It's just there's some POIs where they can make a different, faster rotation if they've got a Trident, that it will be quite different from their old system. Nice with the Thermites there, getting that first round of ticks, but Cheeky can't find any further damage.
And there's the shift of system that you're talking about too. You mentioned a while ago, Savior changing up from the Watson to something a little bit different. He's on the Catalyst right now, and it's the adjustment really for Stormpoint for no credit. The fence is now their enemy. Numbed them right below them. Both teams keeping tab of one another. These scans will just tell each other, saying, okay, you stay on your floor, we'll stay on ours.
Yeah, but what's weird, Dax, is that he played Watson on the first game of Stormpoint. So he's only changed over the Catalyst here in game 5.
It's such a vintage no credit thing. And not only that, correct me if I'm wrong, but since they had the last pick of the Snake Draft, they get the first pick into the second round.
Yes,
and they went back to something classical for no credit. Jurassic used to be their drop zone before it even got the revamp, so it's still a rotation path that's very familiar to them. It's just interesting that they did swap off towards the Catalyst this time around, perhaps to give them better rotations once they're outside their more familiar territories, you know?
Yeah, well, no credit. When I was talking about teams going for comfort pits, no credit is literally who I was thinking of, because as you said, they got picked 20 and 21 consecutive picks, and they literally just went for their old POIs. They went for Skyhook East, they went for Jurassic. It's like, sorry, I don't feel like doing a new looting path, and you know, we'll leave that for next week. But now we're just gonna, you know, stick to what we know. Of course, that's not necessarily gonna happen every week. The teams, the picks that they get change every single week. They will be essentially the same weighting, but the numbers will change from week to week.
Yeah, and if you guys aren't familiar with draft system, especially every single set, you're gonna have a different draft order. We've done the drafting for the week already. I'm very excited, Gino, for tomorrow. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's very different compared to what we see today. And now we're done talking about the draft. Let's talk about the ring again. Everyone called for the lift. Everyone called for the buildings, and smack dab in the center. That's exactly where we're going.
Yeah, straight down the guts, as you'd like to say. Kill Devil. Their buildings, because they're split holding at the moment, are going to be right on the edge of the ring. This is a good spot, Dax. It gives them some kill potential, as well as a safe rotation path into round 4.
Yeah, not many teams can get that ring console info now. Dreamfire being one of them, actually moving in with a Trident from Cito Station. But we watch Serenity play from the wall and look rushing to trap and set up a trap as soon as Bear Claw Gaming opens the door. It's immediately shut on them by Serenity. It's a 2-for-1 trade, and Serenity hunting down the final member of Bear Claw. No escape for Bear Claw at all. Those claws have been dulled. Serenity, though, they need to escape with Boogie just dancing and trying to run on the way. The shields are gone. His life might be forfeit soon. A single bullet left. Perhaps might be enough here, but Boogie Borders can't find the sight line to clear out Serenity here. Oh, there they go. They find him.
Oh, no.
And that's it for Serenity.
Oh, Raki matches the speed boost of Bugi there with the blood of the hunt. And that little bit of extra M&K and movement around the corners will be enough for him to catch up and finish off the last Serenity member.
It was such a good plan from Serenity. They knew someone was gonna come their way, rotate from the north towards Command Center based on the ring. And they just don't expect Boogie Borders to be that late third party, and that's what worked a while ago for Boogie Borders, if you remember, towards Echo HQ to get them in a better placement position. Perhaps they can keep doing so for the rest of the lobby as no credit again. They're playing the cat now. They have to play on the inside here.
Here you go. There's some of that KP we were talking about for Kill Devil. Is MXF tried to come in on the outside, and Asarin, he's going to be taking over the other building, actually starting to set up some Watson fences of his own over there. But meanwhile, he's given 2 death boxes worth of loot to Kill Devil.
Yeah, Kill Devil. Still not on purples, but it's at least a little bit more ammo for their push later on. Weibo, though, on the other hand, you haven't seen as much impact from the team who was the champion of Split #1 here in APAC South. It's been their pushes being read, being caught on by other teams, and especially when their usual plan relies on all 3 still standing after a first fight. Just not panning out as much, and we're seeing Weibo play a bit more careful here all the way in the southeast. War Monster Firebird, though, here by Jurassic, and they're the ones rotating elsewhere.
I mean, they've got this tunnel to hold at the moment, Dax. I'll keep them safe for another minute or so. They've also spotted Dreamfire running into outside up in Cascade Falls, but it's kind of hard to get involved in that fight.
Interesting. War Monster Firebird, as far as I know, they're partners with the Chinese orgs. They had Shark actually sub in towards land, so he got his own individual land experience. Could bring it to War Monster Firebird, which was a surprise team, really, to Split #1. But final Dream again. The struggles continue for the team formerly known as Monkey King. FD trying to stay away from any kind of contact point here. They're left to 2 now. A push on in, though. A perfect chance for Final Dream to get the knock going. KP can go their way here, and exactly what they needed. HKUF gone now from the lobby. Final Dream adding a few more to their tally, but danger is afoot again.
3 teams collapse upon them. Boogie Borders from the north, LGD come in from the west, but it's MDY Black who look like they're going to get the final kills from the east. The building now left fallow as those 3 teams decide to disengage, sensing things are getting a little too hot in there.
No one wants that room, no one wants that vacancy, and while that happened, I do believe Dreamfire eliminated again, so struggles from Split #1 continuing here in Split #2, unfortunately. Keep going gaming, though. Bobbing, weaving in the air, the movement from KH and Bible. That at least keeps them alive, but it's still a delicate scenario here for Keep Going Gaming, as Wonton or Weibo are right behind them here. And here comes Gugu as well as XDC. He pops the beast of the hunt. Ready now to pepper them with the Hemlock. Rolling Thunder gonna be played too. The Weibo not able to close the distance as of yet. Push though, looking to advance, looking to continue from Weibo here.
I mean, I thought they were going to be okay for a little while, but perhaps not. Weibo, after seeing the zone shift away from them, realized that they have to take this game into their own hands. Gugu there. Such a close call, playing with fire. But they've done enough to get rid of KPG ahead of them, and that opens up that spot for Weibo to play in.
Yeah, it's a safer play here from Weibo. Keeps him alive at least for the rest of the lobby for now. But we're watching Boogie Borders try to find a way in. Danger afoot against the teams who have had those buildings since zone number 2. You already see Legends keeping tabs on them. More Monster Fiber, same can be said, but eventually the aggro's pulled away from them, and Boogie Borders can keep alive for now and focus their efforts versus the oncoming Fruit Salad.
I mean, this is a much more tenuous spot from Boogie Borders here. It's not in the next zone. Often these, this spot actually the zone will pull here, but it very much doesn't. And so now Boogie Borders, who have committed to this spot, have to find a way northeast. They need a cat wall, and even then, I don't know if that's going to be enough to get them all the way across. Hannah has chosen both of the cat wall perks here, so he will have the extra distance. That'll help them a little bit in crossing to those rock stacks, but still, this is a tough one for the Boogie Borders.
Yeah, well, Boogie Borders still perilous flight so far, and it's a standstill for them. It's a bit of a stalemate, really, for the Boogie Borders here. They just can't advance, can't actually push. Fruit Salad still there watching out, and it's those scenarios where it's a rock in the hard place as the ring is pulling towards the east, where you already see Makers looking to set on up, but Hannah, the shields are gone, needs to get back into cover, and this ring's gonna close in soon.
It is closing in now. These buildings are starting to get a lot more bloody. You can see the cat spikes everywhere, as well as the fences down. Teams relying on the defensive encampments here. Okay, the ring closes. We've got 12 squads. We're about to lose 5 or 6 of them here, Dax.
Yeah, MDY now, they're gonna go for their own desperate push. It's so close versus Weibo here. They already are left to a duo. Single player left standing. Augenstern trying to set up the Dark Fill, allowing himself to isolate these angles and look to knock out Weibo one by one. But LGD eliminated now. VK the ones in trouble here versus the likes of Legends Gaming. And Makers happy to play from afar. MDY now gonna get eliminated. This is a flank being covered here by Makers, but these squads are getting so close to one another. Fruit Salad gone. Legend still in the fight towards North. BK looking to be their victim. It's a 3v2 effectively. The knocks going in favor of Easy Flash, and Legends Gaming getting the one up versus BK so far. An elegant fight though. The cover is good here for Strafing Flame. The shields are getting cracked again. The scans there, and this is the go signal for Legends Gaming. Nothing can stop Legends for now.
The single player from Kill Devil actually just throwing some bullets out towards Legends. But as he goes down, he confirms that Legends will finish this game in the number 1 spot. They are not done yet, Dax. Easy Flash has 6 kills to his name, but they want to add Numnim to the list.
It's what we said a while ago. Lace and I mentioned it. Once Legends gets going, it's hard to stop them, but with the Easy Flash getting knocked down, that can be the chance for all the other squads within the top 5. Boogie Borders, though, they've kept alive for so long. Let's listen in and see what they'll do here.
Yeah.
To east side, southeast, okay? Come.
Yes, go.
Coming.
Bang, 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 bang. Yeah. By yourself. I can't see anything. I have come up. I'm coming up.
I'm dead. Okay, no. Just.
Oh, Boogie Borders, they can't deal with the very good position that Makers have on the rock above them. It was a good opening salvo, actually, but once that first 100 damage was done, the element of surprise wasn't able to overcome Makers in that fight. 3 squads left now, Dax. We've got War Monster Firebird taking a bit too much damage, and then we've got Numnim sitting up top with the Kraber.
Yeah, YR looking to find impact with it. You also see Numnim, a beautiful arc star. There you go, the shot that rings through, and it's against Makers. Now Numnim, they have the numbers advantage against both squads effectively, and they can pick and choose their targets, whoever they want to send on. Makers might be the ones they're looking at, but they just don't want to overextend. They don't want to give the other 2 squads a chance to fully reset here.
Well, Makers have been able to. They do get the res off here, and after this med kit goes off, they will be back to full health. And not only that, 2 of them have the red armor. War Monster Firebird, they're a little bit in shambles. Probably a second place best that they can do. But with the height, with the Kraber, with the bow check, Numnim can put in so much damage from range just like that.
Yeah, but War Monster Firebird is their victim again. It needs to be against the likes of Makers here. The hesitation a while ago from Numnim, now they prioritize really the high ground, the elevated angle they can play from, especially with YR. The smoke's there. Allows now the rest of Makers to try and go for the push. Numnim still keeping tabs. They clear out a member of War Monster Firebird, left or rat left.
Yep, Shark just popping in and evac Tao. He's really trying to do anything he can to distract as he tries to rat it out towards the second place, and the other 2 teams are getting into it. You never know, maybe Shark can actually do this. He's going for the respawn right now!
Yo, Shark, he's able to hold it down, and the single becomes a 3-0 now. Makers, though, still in a fight for their lives. They got the advantage here versus the likes of Numnim. It's Asia's holding steady towards the truck, but where is War Monster Firebird? Azu and Kano still dropping from the ship. It's up to Shark to initiate the fight, and here they come without the attachments. It's danger here for War Monster Firebird. The scan comes online again, courtesy of Makers, who takes the position of Numnim from a while ago. Even gets set up back. Shark just nearby, but he's already down to flesh, and look like Maker's gonna go for drop down. Ziki though checking his corner. Shark gone from the fight here. A 3v2 for now. Asia's knocked down, sure, but Makers have made a name for themselves, and it's their chance again to get another dub. Makers will win game number 5 here.
Oh my god, the last minute respawn from War Monster Firebird is almost enough. The Naked Havocs come in, but Makers run away with game 5.
Makers are back, Gino. They're back to stay. They're back to show us exactly what they're doing. And Dax, that was nothing short of amazing. If you guys are just tuning in, we just completed match number 5 here in APAC South Pro League, where, you know, we had a team on the very bottom in split number 1 there, no other than Kill Devil, make their way all the way up to the top there, Dax. They're going toe-to-toe with Makers. They're going toe-to-toe with Legends Gaming. So it's exceptional to see these teams flip the switch and absolutely decimate, but we have to hand it over to Makers, Dax. They are doing extremely well throughout all these games.
It's just some of these rings, some of these placements from Makers. As soon as you see them in position, you know the game is over. But that got very dicey. I wanted to call it already. As soon as Numnim didn't actually push against Makers the first time around, that could have been Makers getting the dub from there. But War Monster Firebird, even Jimon noticed it. They got the Mobi. Shark just crawls in like that, and it got very dicey in the end. We thought it would just be a rat for top 2. Makers had to work for it, but that's also still extra KP for Makers at the end of it.
Yeah, Legends Gaming here also fighting for their life and just swinging so perfectly on VK Gaming as well. And Boogie Borders are finally turning up a little bit in this game. It may be a little bit too late in the game for them to sort of pull something out of the bag, Dax, because they haven't, really been performing too well today. But here we see Makers. I quite literally thought that they were ended here, but Asia's just holding on for dear life without a shield, and taking out Numnim was just exceptional.
Yeah, just a respawn beacon perfectly placed, and in the end, Makers, I guess it's just a little bit of that know-how too. In a straight up 3v3 fight, they're making sure that the corners are checked, they watch out potential flags. If Shark actually got away with some good damage there that could have been a chance for more Monster Firebird. But in the end, they should be happy with second place and 2 kills. But big games here, not only from Maker's Lace, but also Numnim, 3rd place, 8 kills. Legends Gaming, that should secure first place for them with 9 kills, making it to the top 5. And Boogie Borders getting a bit of form too. Top 4, 4 kills. The endurance run, it did end in that listen in, but at least they're making a few more points go their way now.
Yeah, we have Kill Devil there at 6. You know, they've been taking the charge for this whole time, but not anymore. Legends Gaming sneaks their way all the way to the top. They were sitting, I guess, toe-to-toe with Kill Devil in our previous tournament scoreboard, but look at them go now, Dax. They have just absolutely obliterated, and your Makers as well. They were sitting just underneath these 2 dominating teams, but they had a cracker of a game in game number 5, which has pushed them, I guess, you know, in line with Kill Devil. But these teams, these top 3 teams, are just all going toe-to-toe with each other, and I just feel like nobody else is going to, you know, catch them at this point.
Yeah, it's a 3-way race for the top spot, and interesting enough, our first place are here in the leaderboard, Lace. They haven't won the game yet. The closest one was the game that no credit took away from them. Kill Devil taken 1 win. Makers have found 2, and that's why they're in the top 3 placing right now. So it's getting very exciting at the very top, but there's still at least 1 more map to play for, and it really will go down to that last map to see who'll take that full 25 points from this set.
Yeah, and if I think I'm right in saying with series points, if we have a team that I think takes 3 wins, I think you're awarded 1 bonus point. So Makers could be in the making to do that as well. I believe, you know, we obviously got to check out the series points. 25 points goes to first place overall, and that's really what we need to keep an eye out going into Split 2, Dax. So, you know what, we could see something in the making.
And Makers, they've just been on point today. Ziki doing so much work there with the fuse too. And I love the fact that you always can see Makers have a bit of that fallback plan. Everything relied on Asia's to hold strong towards the truck, and that he did. They got that 1 knock versus Numnim, and the rest was their win to take.
Yeah, well, can Makers do it again? Can they get themselves another win? We will take a short break, and we'll find out afterwards.
surprise.
And welcome back, everyone. We just saw Makers get yet another win, taking out the first win in match number 1, and now taking out another win for match number 5. You know, can they do it again, Dax? We've basically geared ourselves up for the final game of the day. If you're only just tuning in, Legends Gaming has taken out the lead with 67 points, followed by Makers and our underdog team at the moment, Dax, Kill Devil, totaling, and they're tying at the moment with 60 points.
Yeah, it's getting very exciting at the very top. Kill Devil, we've seen them have those struggles back in Split 1. Now, with their new roster, adding in Bolin, it has been such a hefty boost really to the team, but no slouches also for Luhan, and especially Levy, who has been popping off and having great games. Some good decision making from Kill Devil, especially staying away from the usual APAC South chaotic rotations. It has given them a lot to work with, but I guess really the story right now has to be the Makers Magic Lace. 2 games that they have won. The first game in our last game a while ago, and coming into game 6, they're in a dominant spot to try and take away that top spot from Legends Gaming.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be an amazing showcase if they can get another win under the bags. But you know what? You know, these 3 teams, Legends Gamers, Makers, and Kill Devil, are sort of the ones we've been talking about. Like, coming just underneath them is MDY. We can say MDY now, taking out their colors. So will we see them sort of skyrocket it up? We're going to head into our game number 6, our last match of the day. Let's take it away, Dax.
A quicker set today. We only have A versus B, the last map of the first day of split number 2. Welcome back though, ladies and gents. Thanks to everyone who is tuning on, and especially from the raids we gotten so far. But Genome, who can take it at the very end? Will Legends get a win? Will we see Makers get a third, or will Kill Devil surprise and impress again?
Oh, a couple of fun options. Every single one of those darks would be a fun way to end the day, I dare say. But Legends Gaming, I don't know, man. They did pretty well when they were playing from Geyser. When they play from Sito, they look like gods, coming out with a brace of kills for every single game. And not only that, Dax, but the circle right on top.
Perfectly placed. And what's interesting is, sure, it's for Kill Devil. Legends Gaming can go for a quick rotate too. They have a console nearby. And I guess, Genome, it's safe to say it. Today of all days, 100% pick rate for Bangalore and Bloodhound all throughout 6 maps.
Nuts. Crazy. Lack of diversity. There's a lot of ways to put it, honestly. We do prefer to see a little bit more. Yeah, look, controller characters obviously in a good spot right now. The rest of the meta, I mean, it's crazy, right? You would have thought that taking the digital threat out would potentially make Bangalore less useful because you can't leverage it against the other teams, but obviously teams have shied away from that, and now you just pop Blood ult, and then that's your way to see through the Bangalore spook, and it's at any range, unlike the short range, which the digital threats afforded you.
Yeah, I mean, Bloodhound is the digital threat, basically. He sees everything, he knows everything, and even without that second tactical cooldown reduction perk there, it doesn't matter because all these teams, if they play the Bang, they have to play the Blood, and everyone has to do that, or else they're going to be at disadvantage. We've seen, though. I mean,
I'd say it's more of an analog threat myself, but
yeah.
Sorry, that was a boomer joke.
Sorry. I don't know. Is that like a cassette tape, beta maps? You know, those kind of things. A CD,
Laserdisc, a record.
Remember when things were measured in kilobytes instead of terabytes? It's okay. Genome, Genome, you're still young at heart. Don't worry.
I mean, I don't know if my doctor agrees with that, but hey.
Okay, so Cascade Falls, that's gonna get crowded soon. A center ring like this can easily pull towards ski lift, but there are other squads like Dreamfire, like the likes of Outside, they're trying to bank on some of these houses towards the west, and it's exactly what Legends Gaming is doing, taking the bigger one as soon as possible, right smack dab in the center of the ring here.
It's a tough call, actually. You know, you get some teams, they'll pull over to the left side and take the houses that are closer to the top of the waterfall, and then you'll have other teams that want to sit within Cascade Falls itself. You can see VK Gaming trying to shove their way into one of those buildings right now. They know that it is a little bit like all or nothing. Trying to get into those houses is extremely important, and they're trying to coexist with outside, but I don't think that's possible.
I don't think that's coexistence, sir. They're trying to boot them out as soon as possible, but VK cannot handle all those shots going their way. And outside, somehow, someway, they survive for now, but Dreamfire is on it. They've been getting knocks from afar for so very long, and they want to capitalize and try to get some KP on the board. It's No Name looking to start things off, but Pete's already down to the floor as Player K snipes from afar with the triple take, and it forces Dreamfire to rethink their plans. They have to back away with one member less than they started here.
Not been a fantastic day for Dreamfire either, has it? I mean, their woes from Split 1 continuing on into their first match day here, Dax. VK Gaming, they were looking a little bit more promising. They were in 6th place coming into our final game. But then, with a risky play and an early exit, there's every chance that they slip down a couple of placements now.
High risk, high reward, but the high ground's taken here by War Monster Firebird, and that just forces the likes of No Credit to stay down below. They're already losing a member here. War Monster Firebird capitalizes on the pressure that they put. It's an easy target as Kano sees everything. As Hemlock doing God's work. 2 down, 3 down to his hand, and No Credit eliminated basically single-handedly by the Bloodhound here.
Legends looking to put this one beyond doubt. It certainly isn't going into the game with a lead of less than 10 points. Teams absolutely can catch up and surpass them, but they have the chance to put it even further. Now, Final Dream taking a little too much nade damage there from KPG. Rough day for them.
Yeah, Final Dream, we've seen even in the Challenger Circuit their weakness, really, these early ring rotations. Yet again, they lose a member early on, so Boogie Borders, on the other hand, capitalizing on a few mistakes here and there. Slowly climbing up the charts. They made it to the top 10 before, they're 11 right now. Spike's getting thrown. Dark Veil set up here by Panda 2. And this separates Boogie Borders from the rest of the field of views from the players on the south side, so at least now they're trying to see if they can catch anyone else nearby. But Final Dream, as well as KPG, staying away from it.
Final Dream actually going to get the respawn. You can see they've smoked it off, but the smoke does not cover the very big shining green beacon that tells every other team in the area what they are doing.
No way.
2 of them go down. But because they hit the respawn beacon first, Moku is actually going to drop in, most likely to deliver a KP directly to Boogie Boys.
I mean, he lands on top of the rock, so he stays alive for now. Not the best trade deal. The Final Dream, that's for sure. Boogie Borders hunting, looking to wipe them out, and there you go. Final Dream. You can't smoke off the green light. You can't smoke off the dropship. And that is going to be them hitting the lockers early on into the day here.
Well, Boogie Borders, there's some very well-needed points. I was talking about VK Gaming before, you know, trying to hold on to that 6th spot. As they get the back of KPG, this is a really fortunate timing right now for Boogie Borders.
Taking advantage of Bear Claw's push too. KPG stuck between a rock and a hard place sandwich right now. And interesting enough, Boogie Borders, that's enough for them. KP, bit by bit, is their call. Veterancy, we've been talking about Boogie Borders. Smart decisions, slowly climb the charts. And as Bear Claw do eliminate Keep Going Gaming here, look at the position that Boogie Borders is in. I think from last time we checked, they're now up to 7th place.
Not too bad at all. It's a big difference there. Yeah, and you can see, you know, the points from 7th to 5th, if they were just able to get another few points and surpass Serenity, can make a big difference, Dax. And just those couple of points, it'll grab you an extra couple of split points, and then, you know, maybe that's them just barely making landing. And you got to remember, Boogie Borders didn't have a convincing entry into Los Angeles. They didn't have a convincing tournament either, and with their change of roster here, bringing on Killerpos and Fussy moving back to Akuma or over to Akuma, you've really got to hope that they can have a better performance than they did in Split 1.
It's a bit of a revamp, but I guess the best thing right now for Boogie Borders is they're just still keeping tabs of competition, not cracking under the pressure of being in that bottom 10, but everyone is now looking at Kill Devil, excited to see where the squad ends the day. The top 3 effectively all but confirmed. Maybe they can slip to top 4 if another one of these teams have such a big game, but as of right now, it's already good stage points for them. And your wingman in hand, they'll be keeping an eye out this building, controlled by Kill Devil, and this is one of the few instances they're a lot closer to the rest of the field than they usually are.
We haven't really got an answer to where that zone's pulling yet either. I think actually Boogie Borders honestly might have picked the best spot. Well, we will see. 30 seconds will give us another indication. Boogie Borders have set up quite a few shield swaps for themselves up in that northern position. Eventually they'll have to deal with Bear Claw Gaming, who were sitting up in the choke to the northwest of them. Numnim over to the northeast in the buildings. The other team, obviously we had a look at Kill Devil there. The other one we have to worry about at 60 plus points. They're really the only 3 teams in the running to win this lobby right now, Dax, is Makers. They're still all the way down in Cedo Station, taking their sweet time. Dexter almost up to red armor for them as they want to push in. They have, of course, gone the Ringmaster console perk on Fuse. That means they'll get the next scan over at Cedo. All these other teams are fighting it out very much in the ring, and it's actually pulling down towards outside and Dreamfire in those buildings close to the tunnel.
Yeah, and Legends slightly in the interior too, but here we go by the waterfall. HKUF looking to make an impact coming into the lobby. It's Weibo on the opposite end, and Peacock, he has the purple armor to work with. Weibo hasn't just been the best day so far, but maybe here this game can't be theirs. That's a knock onto one, make that 2. The overwhelming force that is Weibo, at least we're seeing it right now. Shotguns in hand, just wiping out HKUF bit by bit. And this is gonna be painful to watch. HKUF eliminated all too easily by Weibo there.
Oh, Spiders have come to join the party.
Yeah, HKUF Spiders, dude. Teaming.
Teaming, agreed. And they're going to be teaming with Numnim, who is the team on top of Weibo Gaming right now. They've been scanned, though. Both teams have that information via the eye of the Allfather.
Oh. Even the Allfather saw that from afar. A single nade erasing a flow, and anything he had in the shield and health department. That's enough for Numnim to bail out of there. But, contrary to Bumper, I believe Weibo, they're not going to give up their heights. It's been a safer play for the past few games from Weibo. Not pushing as deep and as much as they would like, but this is what we've been waiting for. Makers now, they're landing right on top of Dreamfire here. Here we go with the Bangler ult. Dexter, he's making his way in, but it is a 1-for-1. But problem here for Dreamfire is they're not as kitted compared to Makers. Dexter still throwing some arc stars, getting cracks going. That's immense damage through the smoke, and that should be enough to eliminate Dreamfire.
Amazing fight win by Makers there. I mean, the use of smokes, the way Dexter had enough nades to just push in and actually use the damage ticks from the nades to give him the positioning on the enemies to get the last couple of Havoc bullets in and do the damage. Unfortunately, you know, in that kind of fight, it's almost impossible to do it without losing anybody. Aces does go down, and they don't have a mobile respawn beacon for them at the moment. So does that spell the end of their chances to get first in this lobby? Maybe, but look, top 3 they'll still be pretty happy with.
I mean, they have to share with Fruit Salad now in terms of the housing situation. I do want to say also, all the way off screen, Numnim returning nades back at Weibo and eliminating them within the top 14-15 place. So it really hasn't been Weibo's day. Not a good sign for a potential back-to-back run within the splits. But Boogie Borders, we were talking about a while ago, Genome, 11th from what we thought, 10th when we started. Now they're all the way in 6 and top 5. It isn't really too difficult to attain right now the way they're playing.
Gonna be the disguised of APAC South here and become the big game 6 players to turn their series around. There's a chance they do it here. Obviously, they picked up a few kills already. Bearclaw Gaming look kind of scared of them right now, if I'm being honest. They're trying to slip past them into the circle, but I don't think Boogie Borders will let them do it. Legend Gaming, they're kind of looking a little bit north, and luckily part of their building is in.
Oh no.
Kill Devil had a much harder rotation down from the south.
Yeah, they were trying to stay away from the contact of War Monster, Firebird, as well as MDY, but instead the Rolling Thunder actually taking them down bit by bit. They're still not the focal point, though, of this fight, so a chance here right now. Bring one back up. Luhan also gonna go for his own kind of push, but Kill Devil, it's been a great run, but we're left with the Watson to try and fight for Kill Devil's life. No chance now. Kill Devil, they're gonna have to settle for that top 3, but MDY Black, it's their rally to try and fight, and they're gonna push into Fruit Salad here.
Oh, still a commendable effort from Kill Devil. But so many teams now being eliminated. Legends Gaming hold a fantastic spot in the zone and most likely the first place on the leaderboard when all is said and done.
The Devotion looking to go rampant. An easy flash. They're still too ambitious there, gonna get knocked on down, but it's still Legends who can just punch him back into cover and look to go for the res elsewhere. This ring closing on in, and while you see Makers in position within that northern house, there's still a duo. Legends, a trio, sniping from afar with Player K, and it's their chance here. Slowly reset, bring the shields back to easy flash, and look to find another fight elsewhere.
Nice little reset there. I guess when you look at how close they are to getting purples, it makes sense why they're getting aggressive, Dax. Blues are not only, like, it's not only just the fact that you're losing 75 health across the board in your team, it also makes you a target. As soon as they see those blue shields, other teams will want to try and get aggressive on top of them.
Yeah, it's not the best cover here from Makers, but they're making do with Dexter stepping up to the plate. The grab cannon, the only thing keeping bullets away, but eventually it's Makers who will fall. Legends Gaming, first place is all but secured now, and it's their chance now to rack up even more points. Bearclaw eliminated 2, we're down to the top 5, but this lobby, this session is Legends to take.
Incredible. Coming in on other teams' far superior armors, but because of their immaculate timing and macro getting them into a better spot to start with, Legends are able to convert the third party into purple armors, and now they have so much of the zone and a well set up position with an interception pylon here to take the dub. Can they do it against the other 4 squads left alive? Well, they've got a good chance. They've got an even better chance of being the #1 team in our lobby today.
Here we go again. Inside now with War Monster Firebird. This Mastiff going ham. That shotgun bolt is golden. And even more so, it's just perfection versus Fruit Salad. But War Monster Firebird, they're the next victim to Legends Gaming. And we saw a while ago, Legends, they haven't found a win yet. Perhaps here at the end of the day, it can be theirs. We're down to 3.
What an amazing way to cap it off that would be. Outside or inside, MDY just playing underneath, trying to hide from the bullets, peppering in now from Legends Gaming. Hemlock Hemlock, Nemesis. They've got all of the long-range goodness they need to just continually keep up the pressure on the two teams left alive on the opposite side of the ring. Look at that cover. I mean, so much there. The tree, the rock, the fence. They've got everything that they could possibly want, including a devotion in the hands of Easy Flash.
Everything has been crafted in favor of Legends Gaming now, and they made these opportunities, especially with the stellar calling we've seen here from Strafing Flame, as well as the pushes to go for the third party. I don't think we're going to see much of an adjustment now on the scoreboard unless it's outside who can get some KP going their way here, push them up from 14th place. MVY Black 2 just right under their noses, but this is everything Legends wants and more. Ult Accelerant, Beast of the Hunt at the ready.
I mean, Legends, they don't even need to aim. They're literally just firing bullets into the doorway because they have enough to spare. With that, the ultimate comes up for Easy Flash, and no matter what gets put down, no matter what smokes come in their way, he will have full vision of this final fight, and I think Legends Gaming are going to do this without a hint of trouble.
Absolutely legendary performance from Legend Gaming, and that is gonna be it for the day. They cap it off with a victory to boots, and it's just perfection, really, especially in the last game. The lobby was theirs, the scoreboard was theirs, and now they get a final win to wrap it all up.
And indeed, that was our final game for the today in Apex South. So many jaw-clenching moments with our teams really showcasing the reasons as to why they made it to Split 2 in Pro League. But Legends Gaming, Genome, you know, this is exactly why they made it to the playoffs in LA, really proving it to us again today.
Yeah, I mean, I think with some of the problems that Strafing was having, you know, some of the unfortunate issues he had at the start of Split 1, we really didn't see the best of them until we got closer to LAN. Then, of course, they come out with an awesome result. That said, you know, they had Toyful, not Easy Flash. You know, in some ways, comparable players in terms of the impact they can have on the game. But not necessarily in the way they play. So there was still, I feel, a bit of a question mark in terms of, you know, how they would go back and adapt in Split 2 running regular 3. And today, if anything, was a statement that it's going to be all gravy here for our team, Legends Gaming.
And Dax here, right? Maker's just absolutely decimating in here, and Genome sort of commented on the Arc Stars being placed so strategically to absolutely clean up in that. But of course, Jax, we can't forget about Kill Devil.
I mean, top 3 finish is not too shabby. Honestly, it's such a big improvement compared to their Split 1 placing, and it really has been this roster revamp and at the ready to go for more. But I do want to tackle what Makers does in these kind of fights, the micro adjustments and just the in-game knowledge to utilize whatever information they can, plus the aim that they have. It's always been the standard from the Tom Yum Kung roster. It's good to see them really get picked on up, but I have to go back to what Genome has been talking about. Legends Gaming, the questions have been answered, and we've gotten an X Factor, especially for today. Player K playing out of his mind, especially in that World's Edge RE45 showcase. You know, it's really been Legends Gaming firing on all cylinders in all fronts.
Yeah, and as you can see, they're sort of sitting really pretty there again in their final match with 12 kills. They just absolutely steamrolled the competition. They started out a little bit slower in today's matches, and we were a little unsure, you know, if being on the big stage might have made them shake in their boots a little bit more. But here we go, the snowball effect that we love to see by them. They just keep picking it up as each games go by, and that is just a testament to their absolute skill together as a team. I know you and I, Dax, were sort of commenting on a game on World's Edge where player K really shone through for the team, and, you know, I guess held off 2 teams while they tried to sort of get the reset there on Easy, and that was just incredible by them. And again, MDY placing second there. They have been quite, I guess, leveled in this whole match today. They were sitting, you know, sort of just above the top 10 there, and they are really pulling through together as a team.
Yeah, and they're pulling off some incredible fights. You still remember how they won that second game, especially against Keep Going Gaming and Serenity. Who cares about an Arc Star stick? They're happy to still hold strong. And they also were able to hold off outside there to make it to the top 2. But that was a big game from Legends Gaming, and you can see what happens because of it. 91 at the very top, man.
That's pretty crazy. That's a big win from Legends Gaming. I mean, Makers had 2 wins. Let's not forget that. So that's how they end up in second there with 68. Everyone who doubted them in Split 1 now eating that regretty spaghetti as Kill Devil come up in third place with 61 points. And it was a very top-heavy lobby today, Lace.
Yeah, and let's touch on Serenity as well. They were incredible at playoffs in LA. We haven't really kind of spoken too much about them today, but again, a excellent effort from them. Even I guess War Monster Firebird started off very slow at the start of these matches as well, Genome, but seemed to have pulled it together right at the end there. I saw them absolutely decimate, I think it was Kill Devil at the top, and they are doing something crazy this time around in Split 2.
Yeah, you've got to remember that, War Monster Firebird, they had some quite good performances. I'm trying to think, they might have even had a lobby win in Split 1 at some point. And they've definitely got some highs. They just need to smooth it out and find that consistency here. And I guess one of the other things that it makes me wonder is, is this a POI draft diff? War Monster Firebird, coming in as a very new team, would have struggled to find decent POIs, but now that the playing field has been leveled, are they able to show their true form a little bit more?
I mean, I personally think War Monster Firebird was one of the biggest success stories of Split number 1, taking some incredible games here and there, and then you add in with Shark, getting a bit of LAN experience in LA within that hybrid team that they have there with the Chinese region. And as of right now, they're bringing some of those lessons, taking some better fights, and making it to the top 5 is already a good sign, and tying up with Serenity. I also want to look down onto the scoreboard. Since VK got knocked out early on in that last game, they go all the way towards 10th place. So a little bit of fault for Grace there, unfortunately for them. Boogie Borders, we're talking about them. 7 is a good recovery. Not the best performance from Boogie Borders, but at least they found their footing near the end of the lobby there.
Well, I mean,
yeah, Daxton, I want to travel a little bit further down even. We've talked about Weibo and the way that, this was previously Wonton Dumpling. Usually they're going toe-to-toe with these top teams, Genome, but they're finding themselves a little bit further down. Do you think that could be something with the POI drafts or some changes to the team?
Yeah, that is a very good question, Lace. I mean, obviously they're running the same roster that they were, won APAC South in Split 1. I don't know how much support staff Weibo have behind them. I mean, they don't have a coach listed, and obviously the teams that have that available to them are going to have a big advantage here going into Split 2, because the amount of macro that you need to keep track of has just quadrupled, quintupled, sextupled, depending on how many different POIs you end up drafting throughout the season. And if we think about what POIs that Weibo went to today, they ended up picking up Pylon, which they already were at, but then they also got Siphon. So you wouldn't have thought that they'd struggle from there.
Yeah, and you know what? It's tough to tell. We are only in our first day of Split 2, so there's going to be some tinkering and things that these teams will sort of need to figure out going into the POI drafts and the massive changes that are ahead of them. But, from today's performances, I feel like a lot of teams actually got to shine through because of these changes, having, these bigger POIs not gifted to, the teams, or not having as many contests as we see off drop. And I feel like it's been a really good start and something really good, amazing to watch. But what we're going to do is we're going to take you over to the team that dominated today, the team that I know I was sitting on the edge of my seat seeing, and that is Legends Gaming. Let's bring them on in and see how they're feeling after today's triumph.
Hello?
Hello.
Are you there, Strafing?
Hello. Yeah, it's like my 12th time back here. Can you guys hear me?
It's too busy dusting off the sweat, you know, the passion that they put in today. They're just needing to simmer down a little bit after absolutely steamrolling all the competition, guys.
I mean, what was that last game? 24 points, 12 placement, 12 KP. We were right, Lace. They got started. And then they kept going and kept going and kept going. And they weren't even keep going gaming. They were Legends Gaming. It's just, how do you even stop a powerhouse right now? Because I kind of want to compare it. Oh, we hear him. Hello.
Yo, hello.
Welcome.
Hello, Strafing. It's so good to have you with us. I'm going to chime in here first because I've been sitting and thinking about this, and I know Dax is probably going to back me up on this, but there was a game on World's Edge where you guys were fighting around, I guess, Survey Camp Rock, and I just saw, obviously, you know, you were there, Player K going off on their own to just decimate two teams coming for you guys, trying to get the reset. How do you put so much faith, I guess, in Player, well, not Player K as the anchor, but how does it feel to sit back and just have so much faith in your teammates to be able to do that kind of outshining work?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it feels really good, right? Like, when you finally have a team who are all at like the championship level, all like players who can win, like it's very easy to just play the game, trust them to do what they need to do.
Yeah, no, that is exactly right. And, you know, Genome and I sort of watched you guys at LA and, you know, absolutely do an excellent job. Have you brought, I guess, much of that back into today's games? Have you, I guess, taken from the stage and, I guess, really revamped something to be able to perform the way you did today?
Yeah, absolutely. We worked on, I guess, the things that my coach, like Nihil, has been focusing on for the last few months, and we've just kind of tunneled down on that, and that's been really, really helpful for our consistency as a team.
Yeah, look, we have to get your opinion on some of the POI draft stuff that's been going on here, Strafing, right? Obviously, it's been, you know, one of the biggest changes to Apex competitive in general. Want to hear your thoughts about how you guys approached it this week. Obviously, you've gone for Cito's Station, which you know, you guys are very familiar with. Apart from the fact that you can, you know, you no longer get, you can't steal Sinote's car, and then of course you have to go for Geyser. So can you walk us through both of those decisions and how this has all played out for you in this new POI draft system?
Yeah, so I think it's been really interesting to play. Obviously, it's a lot of adapting, right? But I think objectively, we would be like sort of playing worse just because, you know, we're having to adjust to everything else. But because everyone else is also having to adjust, we actually end up just getting a pretty big buff here because no one else really like understands how to play the game to the level that we do. I mean, you know, I like don't like saying that, but like that's just like the facts of it. You know, that's the truth. And so, you know, even coming from Geyser, like we're still doing really good. And coming from Cito, it's kind of a no-brainer at this point. That's like one of the best POIs on the map. So, yeah, it's just still really good. It's like overall really good for us.
We just got ourselves a Twitter clip there from that. But Dax, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah. I just wanted to ask real quick. First things first, you can hear the utter confidence on this man here. I guess really now that you have easy flashback, even though it was an incredible effort there in LA with Koiful, I guess my question is how you guys readjusting. Obviously, you did perform super well. You guys won the whole day, but I guess my question specifically is, since Easy Flash is back, what are the points that you guys are looking to hammer on and look to refine to make an even better case potentially into a next LAN?
Yeah, it's just kind of synergy and communications, and once there's like a slight language barrier, right, that makes working with Easy Flash a little bit harder than it has to be, but we're working through that, ironing out all the issues, and we're feeling very confident now going into LAN because we're all committed this time, like fully all in. You know, we're wanting to really take home the trophy this year, and preferably all three of them.
I mean, yeah, I'd love to see it happen. It'd make me very happy. I want to throw in one more question there, Strafing, about your play style. So, you guys have been very, lovers of Watson, especially, Player K, picking that up throughout the years. Yeah. But now with the different POIs, the space you find yourself in within APAC South, today you guys were fragging out, right? Like you were playing like, you were such an aggressive team, but obviously you've got this comp that is also somewhat geared towards being quite defensive. How do you kind of juggle those and have a day like today where you have like multiple like 10 plus kill games and just ball out with a defensive character?
Yeah, I mean, we just focus mainly on our timings and kind of our fundamentals. And when you reach a high enough level in those, like the comp differences are very like minor. It's like obviously in caustic meta we couldn't really do that as much, but when everyone else is running Watson as well, they don't really have barrels, they don't have caustic ult. There's no like one hit ult and then it just kills all of us. And we also have like Watson gen, so it's quite the even playing field, I would say. Now it's like more just gun skill and just overall team fighting skill. And yeah, obviously we're gonna roll everyone else on that.
And we know you're pretty good at that.
Exactly. So thank you so much, Strafing Flame. It's been an absolute pleasure watching you today. I was going to say I was a little bit worried for you right at the first couple of games, but you got it together. But did you have any shout-outs you'd like to make?
Shout out to my gym buddy, he really wants that one. It's this guy called Andre. He's actually stopped going to the gym with me since like 4 or 5 months ago. Like, my God, dude, 12 horses couldn't drag him to the gym. It's wild.
He just knows that you got to practice some Apex.
He's
right?
been called out on stream. He has to come back to you to the gym.
True.
You can clip it and send it to him and say we're going back to the gym after I won today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you again, Strafing Flame. Anyway, go rest up. You've had a cracker of a day. But yeah, Gino and Dax, I guess I just want to touch on a little bit of stats from Strafing. I think it was over 7,000 damage alone for Strafing Flame, followed by, Easy Flash and Player K about over 5,000. And that was absolutely incredible from their team. It was definitely the top damage of today, Strafing Flame.
Yeah, I mean, he really led from the front in terms of damage. That said, Easy Flash drops a 20 bomb with 23 kills for this series. Those are rare. You only get a couple throughout an entire split. And, we just talked about how amazing and aggressive they were. And you can see with 3 games of 12 plus kills, that's the way you bring one of those up.
Yeah, and as soon as you start with map number 3, it just goes on and on for Legends Gaming. I do have to say, Strafing Flame, he's gotten so much better, especially in terms of his own individual skill, starting from that LA LAN. Now he's continuing on right now, leading from the front, and Legends Gaming, the scoreboard says it all. It is just them in control so far of how APAC South is looking to run.
Yeah, and I guess, we'll take a closer look at exactly what happened today over our 6 matches as we head on over to the scoreboard. And we can see exactly where, I guess, all these teams sort of started and how they worked their way up. We had groups A versus B today, Genome, and they just came out of the cannon. And it was been absolutely incredible from them all to see, I guess Legends Gaming do exactly what we know they can do, and Makers and Kill Devil shining through today as well.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of those 3, I'm sure a lot of people would have expected to see up there, but that third name is a little bit of a surprise.
And you know what? Makers are doing excellent.
I'm going to have to keep our eyes on them in the coming weeks to see if they can
Kill
back
Devil just on 18.
Up. Will it be their first time? Well, not Bolins, but the other 2 at least.
Boogie Borders, LGD, Numnim, and VK will make it to the top 10, but Lace, it's early struggles for some of the teams we expected to do a little bit better. Dreamfire still can't find the form that they would like, despite the roster swap. Perhaps tomorrow will be a better day. Weibo Gaming, though, is the biggest surprise of them all. The struggles of Wonton do continue from LAN, and I said it a while ago in the cast, it just seems to me that some of these teams, or most of these teams, have really studied how Weibo Gaming likes to run their fights, and they're taking advantage of that tape and really putting the knock onto Weibo in more ways than one here.
Yeah, just really surprising for them today, Dax. Like, we usually see them just as the front runners, but, you know, we are only day number 1. They still have, you know, a lot of time to sort of take back what they did today and, I guess, adapt. Not only are they adapting, you know, to today's games, the new POI drafts as well. A lot of these teams are coming into this, you know, it's so new for them. They've got a lot to sort of learn going into, I guess, even the games tomorrow. So some of these teams, you know, will probably really outshine tomorrow, and some, obviously, we're going to have a new group come through. They're going to be learning against, I guess, a stack of teams that have already done a little bit of, you know, I guess, exceptions to these POI drafts. So...
Exactly. Tomorrow is a new day and new drafts. Every single session that we do here, guys, we're gonna get new drop spots for all of these teams. I'm excited to see what Group C will bring. You have X and Y there, you have Virtus Pro there. You know that those teams are gonna look to impress the lobbies too. So even though tomorrow's gonna be a longer day, you know it's gonna be even better with the amount of games and teams we're gonna have.
Yeah, so Gino, you know, I've obviously got some heavy-hitting teams coming through. I'm very excited to see Virtus Pro, another team that, you know, followed us to the playoffs and did an incredible job over there. Are there any exciting teams that you're going to be excited to see?
Oh, there's a bunch. I mean, Heroes, you know, overperforming at LAN. You've got Akuma. Let's see what they look like with Fussy. XNY almost made land last time. Honestly, have a good chance to do it here in Split 2. Lightning Unicorn just qualified for EWC in electric form. This is going to be a great set of teams to watch tomorrow, Lace.
That's it. And as we get ourselves organized for tomorrow, a big thank you to everybody for the production today. And again, Genome and Dax, again, for joining me. What an exceptional day we have had so far. Don't worry, everybody. We will be back tomorrow, the same time, to give you some matches. And we're not doing 6, guys. We're going to be doing 12. So you're going to have a lot more Apex action here from the Long Shot production. But a big thank you to everybody for joining us today. And again, thank you to Play Apex channel for showcasing our wonderful Apex South region. My name has been Lace. I've been your host for this evening, and I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. So make sure you get yourself some beautiful sleep, and we will see you then.